You know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M,
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men, we will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
You know, it's amazing what a little shave or a haircut will do for somebody. My goodness, buddy. You look 39 years old today. Olin Buchanan, schoolboy in the house.
You know what that is?
Hello?
Shave and a haircut, 2 bits.
Never heard of that. Is that from the
Really?
1940s?
Did you ever see Roger Rabbit?
Yeah. I don't
You
remember.
have to go back. But anyway, yeah, that's
Jessica
from,
Rabbit, big fan.
yeah, me too. That was from back in the day.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, got a haircut.
What do we call it? Like a two fade? Like it's a?
I don't know. I showed.
Is it Becky?
No, Becky. What? I got
What's up with
there.
Becky? Always taking time
Becky
off.
wasn't coming in until noon, and I was there at 9. So I think her name was Ashton. I said, "Here's a picture,"
Okay.
and I showed her a picture. I said, "This is what I used to look like. So try to
Try to
make
do
it
that.
like that." And this is what she came up with.
I think she did a good job, bro.
Well, yeah, Irma said the same.
Yeah. Becky's
Hey,
going to
if-
be upset,
if-
but I think you found a new barber.
If Irma's pleased, I'm pleased.
Well, you look like you're 39, buddy.
All right.
You look like you could have gone to the ESPYs yesterday in New York.
I would have gotten thrown out for raising hell over Christian McCaffrey being the
Comeback player of the year.
Come on. I mean, did he rush for like 1,200 yards in a 17-game schedule?
Yeah.
I mean, did he win a national championship? What did he come back from? An injury? I mean, injuries are very common in the NFL, right? You see them all the time. I mean, it's not like he came back from some career-threatening.
Medically retired, career-threatening. Oh, by the way, Kendall Stowers was at the ESPYs. In a moment, we'll show you a picture of her with.
She got robbed.
She got robbed. You know why? Because people don't know. They don't do the research.
You know, I believe you're right on that. Yeah.
Yeah, people just want to vote for who they know.
Right. So what? You know what? I was never one of those that put things up to a public vote to decide something.
Myles
For the
Garrett
reason
and Kendall right there.
there's 2 greats.
2 absolute greats. One of those works at TexAgs. Has Myles? Myles, I don't think has been on TexAgs since I've been here. But
I
I'm sure he's
interviewed him
been.
one time, just standing straight. And you know, I'm not a little guy. I mean, I'm not a big guy, but I'm not.
But you're not a little guy.
And I'm interviewing him, holding the microphone while he's talking, and I look like the smallest person you ever. I look like, you know, there's a word you're not supposed to say anymore.
Yeah.
Rhymes with widget. That's what I looked like next to Myles. He was so huge at this.
Like Willis? No, it's not Willis. Gary Coleman standing next to Mr. Drummond. Mr. Drummond looked like a tall guy.
Except Mr. Drummond was he was kind of built like me.
Yeah.
You know, Myles is just
He's a Goliath of a human being.
Yeah.
Well, he dominated.
It must have been what David and Goliath looked like.
Yeah.
Except I would have been even smaller.
Well, Myles Garrett dominated the ESPYs.
Did he?
Yeah. Now, I didn't get to hear when he was on. So at one point, what's the dude, the magician guy? You know what I'm talking about? Oz. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I think it's Oz.
Oz or Oz? What? Dr. Oz, Dr. Oz, whatever his name is. He's this magician guy who, give me the last 3 digits of your phone number. Okay, you fell in love with Becky Ramirez from the barbershop. And like, oh my God, how'd you get that information? That guy, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I didn't know his name, but when I think Dr. Oz, I think of that guy that ran for Senate.
No, different guy.
Oz the Mentalist.
Oz the
is his name.
Mentalist. Thank you, Nick.
Oh.
So
He's
this
the one
dude-
that got Connor Wigman to say, "Give me back my shoe, bruh."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that became a thing. So this guy, I think he's a very good entertainer. But I watched the podcast behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Who's that guy? Pablo Torre does, that dude who does, I don't know if I like him, but he does some pretty good journalism. He did a whole expose on him and how he does his stuff. And there's this pre-interview and he gets a lot of the information, whatever.
Yeah. I was in Vegas once and David Copperfield.
Yeah.
He made me disappear.
Where'd you go?
And well, now I know how he did it. So I'm like, okay, it's not.
It's not that big of a trick?
It's not.
Were you shocked? Where am I?
Well, I'll say this, because he has me to hold a flashlight.
Yeah.
And he's wanting me to point a certain way, and apparently it's pointing somewhere else. And, Irma, whose voice can be heard from miles around, dogs pick up anything Irma says.
Yeah.
Right? And he's yelling, "You're doing it wrong, Olin, doing it wrong."
Oh,
Meanwhile, I'm running out the back of the hotel, and it's just somebody else holding it. And then I come in, oh, wait,
You were supposed to say
I
that.
promise never say it.
Did they
was
ask
wrong.
you not to say something?
Yeah, you're supposed to agree not to, and so they give you
Is David Copperfield a thing still?
I think he's still probably working.
He's still with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's still
I thought he
working.
disappeared.
I think he's still working. But then he just ran around the hotel and came back in.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry.
O's the
Back to-
mentalist.
Back to O's.
I didn't hear what he said to Myles, but Myles was standing up with some other stars, and the TV was on in the background while we were eating dinner. And he did something with a mentalist guy, okay?
Okay.
So, but I don't know what he did, okay? But
He didn't grab a helmet and hit him in the head with it, did he?
no, he didn't do that. No, it was the mentalist dude doing it to Myles.
Okay.
And there was other people involved. Jalen Brunson was involved, Pablo Escobar, there were a lot of people. Anyway,
Pablo Escobar is your fallback guy.
I know, so I go to it. One day people are going to be like, what? Nobody's ever texted the show about Pablo, ever.
In fact, when you started talking about Pablo Torre, I thought you were going to say
Pablo Escobar. They're good friends. Myles, okay, I think I said this
Myles
6
Garrett.
minutes ago, but I haven't hit the punchline. For those who didn't watch the ESPYs, Myles wins the best record-breaking performance. So congratulations to Myles Garrett for that. There's the tweet that did we do that tweet or did Texas A&M do that?
That's Aggie football.
Aggie football, okay. And then there's a follow-up. He also won the NFL's Best Player Award.
The Cleveland Browns got something right. They usually don't, but when they
And now the Rams got something real right.
Yeah, I hope. It's funny, I don't hate the Rams. I don't like the Rams.
I'm rooting for the Rams.
Yeah, if I find them in that position, then they're in the Super Bowl, then I'll probably root for them. But what if there's an Aggie player?
Devon Achane and the Dolphins
Yeah.
make it. Who's their quarterback now?
Malik Willis.
What you talking about, Willis?
He doesn't know what that
I
means.
know he has no
I know what
idea.
that means.
You do?
It's from a show like way back in the day. I don't know the show.
Not
We've
that-
already referenced it earlier. That's
Different strokes?
Sure.
Mrs. Garrett? No?
Dude, I was born in
Myles
2002.
Garrett,
I
Mrs.
don't
Garrett?
know
Yeah.
that stuff.
this all works together.
So I thought that was cool. So congratulations to him. The other thing that I think 9 people are going to care about is probably they're all in my family. The Cubans dominated the ESPYs yesterday.
Okay.
The host, Marcelo Hernandez.
Never heard of him.
He's he's a small little funny guy on Saturday Night Live.
I don't watch Saturday Night Live anymore.
He's good. He was the host.
Okay.
And Fernando Mendoza, the other one, won the best, and they were both on the stage at one point together, best collegiate athlete.
So 2 Cubans?
Dos Cubano.
Two Cubans dominated? Hey, I'm fine. I'm fine with the Cuban community. I like them.
Yeah. And here's something that has nothing to do with the ESPYs.
What?
Are you familiar with Texas A&M starting quarterback Marcel Reed?
I am.
Okay. He went on the Turf podcast by D1 Training. Okay? I guess that's where he's getting his training done.
Okay.
And in fact, that wouldn't be a bad guess.
I wonder if he's up there in Franklin, Tennessee, where I used to live.
Okay.
I don't know. I wonder.
Well, he talked
Since
about...
he's from Nashville,
It makes a lot of sense. He talked about wanting to play at the next level, so obviously this year being a big year. So let's listen to Marcel Reed talking about playing at the next level.
I'm just telling you, you got Mario Craver around. We got Isaiah Horton, Astrobeth the Roman, Terry Bussey, Aaron Gregory. I mean, I have a bunch of guys to throw to, and I think this year is going to be just another step. Last year, stats jumped up a little bit, and we won some games. But I think this year for me, it's just going to be, taking that next step to try to get to the next level. where I want to be. Obviously, I want to go to the NFL and clean up some situational things and protect the ball a little more. I think that'll help out, the win percentage, but it also help out my resume.
All agree. I like when a quarterback can address some of the shortcomings that he had last year. I like that.
Acknowledge what places that I got to get better. Great.
My buddy God, the loudest TV in the history.
And hopefully he'll make those that step. And if the NFL is a good move for him, hopefully he has a great year where the NFL is saying, okay, we're sold on it. Let's go.
Go ahead.
Make him first round pick. That's what I'd like to see.
I'd like to see
if
that. If
not, he could take 2 steps to get to the NFL and play 2 more seasons here.
It's interesting. I haven't really thought about Marcel at the next level. I think of him as a really, really good college quarterback. But let's just say he has that year, right?
Okay.
I think in today's NFL, a guy with his stature, he'd probably need to put on some weight, right? But you can play in today's NFL. Before you couldn't play.
Yeah, his you said it. His weight is more of a concern, I would think, than his height. We've seen too many guys that aren't 6'4" that can play at that level and play well. Caleb Williams isn't a big guy. Obviously, Kyler Murray's not a big guy. Bryce Young's not a big guy. So Jalen Hurts is not a big guy, big strong guy, but he's not overly tall. He's probably around 6 feet. I'm betting. I was standing next to him one time, and I didn't think he seemed that much taller or shorter than me. I think it's more about weight with him.
I don't have this, and maybe you can Google it for me, Carson. What did Kyler weigh in college? Because he's listed at 5'10", 207 right now. Marcel is listed at 6'1", 185. And I think that's about right. I think he fluctuated last year from 180 to 190.
But I think you're also right in that the mentality of the NFL coaches has changed. It used to be you have to stay in the pocket. Like McGee's always saying.
Yeah.
You've got to stay in the pocket. You can't play if you can't be effective out of the pocket. And yet you see guys like, I think Lamar Jackson really opened it up. But and then you see guys that are in the pocket that aren't good. So I don't think they have the mentality now that if like I mentioned Vince Young before. Had a guy like Vince Young's coming out now, he could probably be more successful in the NFL because coaches are more open to designing an offense around what their quarterback can do. Right. Instead of saying, the one thing that makes you special, I don't want you to do. I want you to, try to make a running quarterback a pocket quarterback. Everybody had to be the same thing. I don't think it's, obviously they don't feel that same way anymore.
And for Marcel, technically, this could be a 2-year project to get to the NFL, right? He could if he takes a big step this year and A&M goes back to the playoffs, and then the next year, another big step. Now we're talking about well, let's see what his completion percentage looks like this year, his touchdown, interception to touchdown ratio looks like. All those things are going to tell a lot of the story. How big was Johnny? 6 feet?
Probably a little under.
A little under.
And probably weighed about 190, I guess.
I have Kyler Murray for you.
Yep.
Oklahoma had him listed at 5'10", 195 in his last season there in 2018.
Okay.
So.
And when he was at A&M, he probably weighed less because he was a young man, right? He was a freshman, and there's time to put on some weight.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
Oh, sorry.
One of the many things that Kevin Sumlin butchered here.
Yeah. Where's he at? Minnesota now?
Minnesota.
And he might be the guy there?
He'll probably win the starting job over J.J. McCarthy.
You think so?
Can't get much worse.
All right, let's tell the people the name of the show, young man.
This is TexAgs Live.
Thank you. We're presented by
David Gardner's Jewelers.
I like this. I'll look at you look at me, then you answer. Yeah. We are in the what?
Rollo Insurance Studio.
In this hour, Olin.
It's the Go Hour. Brought to you by the Warehouse of CC Creations.
And if you want to be a part of the conversation, there are multiple ways to do it. The first way would be to
call us on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
That's 979-693-1150. Something about the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. I think because we always ask for callers but never take callers because we leave them on hold for an hour, people don't call. So I want somebody to call and ask Olin Buchanan a question at 8:20. And we will take that first call.
We'll take that call.
We'll take the first call.
All right.
We won't take the third call. We might take the second call. We could take the fourth, but we're not taking the third call.
You're the boss. You
Thank
get
you.
to make the rules.
Hey, Tony Danza. Do you know Tony Danza?
No.
Alyssa Milano?
No.
Did Elton John sing about Tony Danza?
Did he?
Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza.
I'm not familiar. Willie Ames?
You're just saying names at this point.
Okay, you know Willie Ames.
Yeah.
Olin was a big Willie Ames guy.
No, but I know who he is.
Buddy Lembeck. All right, if text the show too.
Yeah, you can text us on the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy, PPE, text line.
Did you know who
Same number.
Did you know who Buddy Lembeck was? The name's got to sound familiar, right?
Was he on? No, I don't know.
He was on Charles in Charge.
Okay.
Willie Ames played Buddy Lembeck on Charles in Charge.
Okay.
Today's about the sitcoms. It happens every summer.
Yeah, I have to admit, I don't think I ever watched Charles in Charge.
Saved by the Bell?
I saw that. I don't, I was
Saved by the Bell.
Great show.
I was I think I was probably in my 30s by the time that show came along. So it wasn't something that.
Yeah, it would be weird.
Yeah. Even though the tall girl that ended up losing.
Elizabeth Berkley.
Yeah, I thought she was pretty even.
Showgirls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was pretty.
Yeah. Lark Voorhees. That was the other one. Mario Lopez. I'll give the whole cast.
I know who Mario Lopez is.
Mark somebody.
Gosselaar. Yeah, I know that because he was in, I think, NYPD Blue or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Nick Savage, Behind the Glass. Anything you want to say about the old TV shows?
The only thing I'm thinking of when y'all are just rattling off these names is they could just be completely fake, and I think everybody in this room would. Sure, yeah.
But we got people listening that could call us out on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
I want to one day do this like this, what do you call it, test, if you will?
Test.
AM radio. Guaranteed the people listening right now on AM radio knew everything we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact. AM radio, typically 35 plus.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Those listening on FM radio
are probably
29 and up.
For our show, yeah.
Okay. YouTube, all over the place. I think you got a 70-year-old listening right now. You definitely got a 50-year-old, and you got a 19-year-old. All that's happening.
And we welcome you all.
On TexAgs Premium, all over the place.
All over the place.
If you're watching on Space City Home Network, this probably won't make the cut. All over the range, though, age-wise. All right, Nick, just give us something to give this segment some substance.
Well, going back to that Marcel Reed soundbite, the thing that interests me as we're, kind of starting to think about the 25 players in 25 days, right? As Marcel is rattling off his go-to targets, right? He slips in Aaron Gregory there at the end. So, we've heard a lot about him, 5-star, obviously, but if you have Marcel bringing him up in the mix of guys he thinks will help him get better and contribute this year, that's going to be pretty exciting. So it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting to see how the wealth gets spreads around, right, with that loaded wide receiver room going into this year.
I mean, the reports back from the spring, just his high school highlight tape. You just look at that young. He's gonna be a factor this year.
Well,
how big of a factor? We'll see.
Yeah, we saw him in limited opportunities in the spring, and what little we saw, I said, hey, that's sometimes a guy just gets your attention.
Yep.
And he definitely got your attention.
All right, let's go to the Angry Elephant News. And Social Center Carson Stein has spoken a few times on the program. Let's see if he brings any value to the segment.
I do have something. I mean, track and field. Coach Leroy Burrell has announced the hiring of Nate Collins as the program's chief of staff and general manager.
Okay. Nate Collins. Do you have any info on Nate Collins?
I do. So they released a statement saying Collins will oversee a wide range of responsibilities, including internal and external operations, helping navigate the NIL landscape, and supporting recruiting efforts. Collins previously served as the same position at Auburn before he spent the 4 previous seasons at USC.
Okay. So I guess when Burrell left the University of Houston, that was the guy he called from USC and brings him back here. That's good.
Yeah.
Good team.
Feels good about that. He's comfortable with him.
Yeah. They've already worked together.
It's like Bucky and that Warren guy.
Yeah. That Warren guy.
That Warren guy.
He's great. What else?
I got On3 released a bunch of their SEC superlatives and kind of broke down their multiple things, I guess. They released the toughest schedules. They released only the top 3. Do you guys have any idea who any of the 3 could be?
Top 3 schedules?
Or SEC?
Toughest schedules, SEC schedules.
I'm going to assume
Oklahoma has a really tough schedule.
A&M, Oklahoma, Texas.
It's Texas number 1, Oklahoma number 2, and Arkansas number 3.
God bless Arkansas. I think they may be the worst team in the league.
Again?
And then they're going to have the second or third toughest schedule. Wow. Arkansas looked at Georgia, A&M, Tennessee, Vandy. Remember when you look at Vandy and you say, okay, there's a win. Missouri, at Auburn, Texas, LSU, South Carolina, yeah. Pretty tough. Tough road to hoe for the Hogs.
Yes, it is. All right, let's hit a break here. Come back with a little bit more. Right now, 1775. Mouth-watering side. I'm just going to read you. This is from the copy they gave me that we've never really used. Mama Belinda crafted mouth-watering sides. We've used it, but then we just go on a tangent. Desserts, whole family ensuring your experience is unforgettable. So we're going to go in reverse order. We'll go desserts, and we'll work our way through the meal.
All
because
right. I've done that before.
Yeah, I know you. And you know that I'm not a big dessert guy.
I know, but I've seen you eat dessert enthusiastically at 1775.
That's 1,000% the fact.
True.
Yeah, it was so delicious. And now we can go through the meal. And I think we typically end with queso mac and cheese, so we'll go part 2, queso mac and cheese.
Well, you know, if you want to have that as a dessert,
you could.
It still works, right? Because I'm not sure that's not saving the best for last.
Yeah.
And even though if you're a meat man, you could make dessert out of that, out of those amazing pork ribs. They're kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Kind of sweet. That succulent brisket.
You know, for Halloween, typically you dress up.
Yeah.
I think this year, your alter ego superhero, the Meat Man.
Meat Man.
Yeah.
Meat Man with a big 1775 across.
Yeah.
The chest.
Yeah, and you'll have camouflage as your colors.
Yeah.
On the shirt, but then your pants are like.
Instead, my mask would look like a bacon strip.
Yeah. This is probably the worst spot we've done, but the best at the same time. Yes.
For that.
Could you eat it off your face like that?
I don't think that's physically possible.
Oh.
Unless
you're gifted.
Maybe it's a big strip of brisket it kind of
hangs over
because it's because it's so
lays
tender.
on your face. Yeah.
So I could. Yeah, that might be.
I think we went a little bit too deep on this.
Meat Man.
979-492-6241. The website is 1775txbbq.com. It is 1775.
And it's good.
Hey guys, David Nuno here to talk about our new partners with EventPipe. They are a leader in hotel booking technology, and now they're giving you a chance to support Aggie student athletes every time that you travel. Thanks to their partnership with United and EventPipe, whether you're heading into a game, a business trip, or family vacation, every room that you book comes with cash back in the pockets of Aggie athletes. That's a wonderful deal. And with EventPipe, you'll get discounted hotel rates up to 20% lower than the major travel sites, while enjoying a fast, easy booking process. They've even created Presto, EventPipe's quick launch booking solution. It lets organizations build branded hotel sites powered by live hotel inventory, making it simple to book the perfect stay. So next time you want to book a trip, do it the smart way with EventPipe and support Texas Aggies NIL through United. Visit their website, tau.eventpipe.com. I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going? You use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drink drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results is Catalyst. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. OB, there's the YouTube chats always goes its own direction. I think they listen to the show, but they typically just like to talk to each other.
Okay.
They're the best of friends. Derm Doc says he's listening. He's 71 on YouTube, so we do get the olders. I know we got some youngers. Hopefully they'll talk too. But the part that caught my attention is people predicting A&M's record.
All right.
So Chris, who listens to the show all the time, says 9-3 or 10-2. And then there's a gentleman, it's ZB 979. Agree, Chris. I like 10-2 prediction with losses to Bama and Sooners. I love optimism. I wish I were as optimistic. I could be talked into 10-2. I'm not there, and I don't think you are there yet.
My consistent message has been that until I actually see the offensive line perform at an effective level with my own eyes, I'm going to say 8-4. Now, 2 weeks in, I reserve the right to change my prediction after I see how these offensive linemen perform together.
I'm just going to say this out loud. Tell me if I'm wrong. You're 8-4 with this same schedule, but it's not the same schedule when I put this caveat, but it's a 8-game SEC schedule, is basically a 9-3 team, correct?
Yeah. If you give me another mail-in game, like that game in November against Samford or Prairie View or whoever,
right?
But yeah, for I don't even know how many years have I done this in the more 12 years, I think, and I have consistently preached that, in my opinion, that success starts in your offensive line. yes, you got to have a great quarterback. Yeah, you got to have to win championships. You got to have, NFL caliber receivers, and you got to play defense. But I think that I've never seen a good team without a good offensive line, and I've said this over and over. So it'd be very disingenuous of me to say, well, now that A&M has, and I questioned that last year about LSU. Yeah. Whenever we talked about LSU, I'd always say, yeah, but they got to replace 4 starters in the offensive line, and all 4 were drafted.
Yep.
So I don't want to change my position because it's now A&M we're talking about. It'd be one thing if I was at practice every day when they're actually playing and actually scrimmaging and saying, okay, that Tyree Adams guy. Yeah. But we don't see that. Yep. So until I see it, so 8-4 and I reserve the right to
change your mind.
It's fluid because when I see how guys, it's kind of like this. If, God forbid, a key player got hurt,
yeah, change your mind.
Might change. Okay, that
Damian Sanford is 1,000% day one. Maybe we think things differently.
Right. If Marcel missed any significant time, that would maybe change things. But
here's something I want you to consider. We do got to hit a break. Maybe we can talk about it with McGee too. But Marcel speaking so glowingly about Aaron Gregory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if your receiver core is actually better because? Here's the because.
It's deeper.
Well, not only is it deeper, but Isaiah Horton gives you something you didn't have before.
Mm-hmm.
What if Aaron Gregory is just a younger version of KC? He's not going to be used the same way KC. Follow me here, but having that kind of ability of a guy that can do what he does, an ABR so what if you're better in several areas? You just aren't. You don't have the alpha, if you will, that KC was, but you do have Mario, who could be that KC this year too, right? So I guess what I'm saying is, Aaron Gregory, maybe he's good enough that it gives you that many different options that, okay, you're going to single coverage on Mario Craver? Okay, Aaron Gregory's right there too. Oh, we got Isaiah Horton over the top. Oh, remember ABR? He makes the best plays.
Yeah. You're saying if you had a great basketball team with a great player, but he moves on, but you're able to replace him and maybe not as good, but now I've got 5, maybe I only had 4 good players, but one of them was great. Well, now I got 5. And maybe none of them are as good as he is, but they're close enough that you get that as a whole, as a group, it's better. Yes, that's.
Is it unreasonable to say that we're going to get a better version of Mario Craver this year, even though he was great last year, but he took a step from freshman year to sophomore year to junior year?
It could be. I'll tell you this, and I think everybody would agree with me. I think you would. I'll take, as long as you say, don't miss him healthy. I'll take the Mario Craver I saw last year right now. And if he's better, that's a bonus. What I think you're going to see is a better Ashton Bethel-Roman.
Yeah.
I think you'll see a better Terry Bussey.
Agree.
Especially Bussey. I think he gets better every year he plays because he's developed. And then if you see Horton be who he was at Alabama, just get more opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So in those ways, I think. But yeah, Craver could be better.
Let's hit a break. We'll talk to Stephen McGee on the other side. When it comes to your money and your peace of mind, it starts with the right team. That right team is Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales commissions, no pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. They have a team of 18 professionals, including over 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, and their expertise does run deep at Paragon. Credentials matter, and so does your future. What you need to do is check out the website, paragon-adv.com, or give them a call. 979-693-3907 for a free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors. Integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. I want to get to Stephen McGee here, but I just was sent a text from Kay Nagley. David Ubben, you familiar with him?
Yeah.
He's from The Athletic. He posted a tweet, and I don't know if we're allowed to play it or not, because I don't know if there's curse words or not, but he posted a tweet from some British sports talk show destroying the English national team head coach, Thomas Tuchel or Tuchel, however he goes by his name. And he says, TexAgs has 24 hours to respond. I've seen a lot of people tweet about this video. I haven't seen it yet. But apparently it's like sports talk guys going crazy. So
TexAgs has 24 hours?
Yeah, like because, apparently we go crazy.
Oh.
So maybe the message board does. I don't think the show goes crazy. But anyway, if
I'm sure the English are really upset. I heard he made some...
they parked the bus.
He made some substitutions.
Yeah. But, let's go to Stephen McGee, who's a world expert when it comes to British soccer.
I can see all these...
Our QB1, financial QB at Paragon Financial Advisors. What's up, buddy?
My favorite and the best sport in the world.
Yeah.
International football, OB.
Could you see the English fans watching this going, blimey, what's this wanker doing?
Exactly right.
Indonesia?
They would use to describe us. OB, that haircut's looking very British and proper. I like it.
Yeah, I wish I could do accents. I can't do accents. I barely do an East Texas accent. Huh?
Hey, Mike.
Good day, mate. That's Australia. That's Australia.
Oh, put another shrimp on the barbie, eh?
That's good. That's pretty good. Hey, Stephen, I'm trying to think of the equivalent of parking the bus in American football, professional football, whatever you want to call it. Yesterday, the English team, they put like 5 in the back. They were up 1-0, and they just played defense the whole game. In the NFL or maybe college football, do you remember a time, maybe it was the UCLA game, the A&M UCLA game. Do you guys, what happened in that game that allowed UCLA to come back?
They had the freshman quarterback playing his first game, and they were snapping the ball early. All they had to do was let the game, the play clock go down to about 5 seconds and snap the ball and run it. Instead, Noah Mazzoni has a kid, 18-year-old kid, Kellen Mond, playing a high school kid that wasn't even supposed to play, and he's not even throwing 20 times.
Yeah.
Had they just ran the ball, they would have won the game.
You think of any examples, Stephen?
Examples aren't jumping to my mind off the top, but I think that there's extreme examples. There's ones like that where you're up so much that all you have to do is run the football, so you change your game plan accordingly. But sometimes it does go the opposite way where, you're up comfortably, but you get too conservative and you change who you are as an offense and you start to sputter. And you have 3 and out, and the momentum quickly shifts, and all of a sudden you're in a dogfight again. Mm-hmm. And so I think you have to maintain who you are as an offense, continue to aggressively call plays, and be, what it is you are offensively, whether it's running the football, throwing it, et cetera. You can't avoid taking shots and doing those type of things. But to OB's point, when you have an extreme lead, sometimes all you got to do is just run the dang ball to get the clock down, right? And so game management, just at the head coaching position and at OC is so important. I think that's one of the things Elko's really good at. I think he understands that. He's like a Nick Saban. He understands offense and defense and where to interject to overrule a play caller.
Stephen, a tweet came out yesterday with Marcel Reed talking to D1 training where he's doing his summer training, talking about the NFL. I'd like you to listen to his thoughts about playing at the next level, and we can just kind of dissect it from here. Here's Marcel with D1 training.
I'm just telling you, you got Mario Craver around. We got Isaiah Horton, Astrobeth the Roman, Terry Bussey, Aaron Gregory. I mean, I have a bunch of guys to throw to, and I think this year is going to be just another step. Last year, stats jumped up a little bit, and we won some games. But I think this year for me, it's just going to be, taking that next step to try to get to the next level and where I want to be. Obviously, I want to go to the NFL and clean up some situational things and protect the ball a little more. I think that'll help out, the win percentage, but it also help out my resume.
Stephen, what do we got to see from Marcel Reed to play at the next level?
Marcel's got to become a better passer. The NFL is a very different game. You got to be able to win from the pocket. You have the ability to win in college football, more so without being a complete passer. But yeah, the obvious things are the 4 interception games, the just missing guys that are glaringly open, making sound decisions on time, accurate throw of the football. I mean, that's the biggest thing about playing this position. 90% of it is between the ears. When Marcel is hot and in rhythm, he's as good as there is in college football. When he's not, he is at the bottom of the pack. And so part of being the difference between being good and great is the consistency of making good decisions. Like Tom Brady was consistently good, and that's what led to him being great. There weren't these highs and lows extremes. And so the other part of it is he's got to be really good against good teams when it matters.
Yeah. I got actually 2 questions for you. First of all, just tell me, how can the caliber of receivers affect the quarterback? And then I want to ask, were you ever in a situation where you had a similar interview and you said, you know what, look, I got Kerry Franks, I got Pierre Brown, I got Irvin Taylor, I've got E.J. Schenkel. You know, did you ever have that kind of interview?
Absolutely. Those are my dudes, man. I love them to death. Chad Schrader.
Oh, yeah.
Joey T. Yeah, I mean, those are my guys. I would say, OB, though, to answer your first question, it does help. I mean, having guys around you that are playmakers. I mean, obviously, Johnny Manziel was a phenomenal football player, but
he had some great receivers.
Often gloss over the fact that he was throwing to Mike Evans and Ryan Swope. I mean, 2 of the best of all time. Not to mention he had 5 stallions up front that became first-round picks or, NFL starters, so to speak. And so, all these things matter, and it helps the quarterback play at a high level. And let's not forget the running game. You got some good backs in the backfield. Losing Moss is a question mark, and I think we have a lot of belief in the depth in the backfield, but I think we want to see that full-time guy carry the load. And most importantly is how good can this running back committee be when the football is not in their hands? How good do they understand pass protection, and how good can they be in the pass game? I think those are the biggest question marks looming for the running back room. And so all these things help Marcel Reed do his job better and having playmakers and guys that can go over the top. So there's going to be hopefully no excuses. I think this offensive line comes together and meshes well. We've talked about that last week. And so there's a lot of really good pieces for him to work with.
I always thought Carson Beck looked like a really great quarterback when he was throwing to Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers. And then when they weren't there, he was pretty average. And then he goes to Miami, and all of a sudden,
good again.
Had the guy that he was good again. Imagine that. Yeah. So I'm just saying, all those receivers he mentioned, and we think they're all really good, I think is going to be another reason to feel like Marcel will continue to get better. He had good receivers last year too, but even more maybe this year.
Yeah, exactly right, OB. I mean, depth matters. You have injuries, you have different things. I mean, we saw both KC and Craver last year kind of, be in and out at times with little bumps and bruises. And so you want to have guys that can step up. But, the biggest thing is the explosive plays on offense. So turnovers win football games. That's the number one correlation in all of sports. Winning and losing is the turnover battle in football. We know that. The second important thing are explosive plays on offense. And there was a number of years when this Aggie offense, before going into last season, where we were plagued by the ability of guys to go over the top and make those explosive plays. When you have 2, 3, 4 guys that can do that, it really changes the dynamic, and it forces defenses to have to make some really difficult decisions in who you're going to double. You can only double so many guys.
All right, let's hit a break here. We'll come back with more with Stephen McGee, OB, here on TexAgs Live. Right now, Brazos Running Company, located at Century Square. They're locally owned. They're an Aggie-owned company that's going to help you find the right shoe for whatever fitness needs you might have. If you like to go running, walking, if you're into weightlifting, whatever it may be, they'll help you find that right shoe. And if you are a runner, they're going to put you on this treadmill and see your gait and evaluate you and make sure that you're in the right shoe that's going to help you. They're very passionate about running. They're very passionate about fitness. They have Yori, they have Duck Camp, they have Turtle Box, they have Stanley Cups, you name it. It is the Brazos Running Company, located at Century Square and below the Star Cinema Grill in College Station, the Brazos Running Company. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Stephen McGee joining us from Paragon Financial Advisors. Go check them out. They'll help you call the right place for your financial future. All right, so one thing that Nick pointed out in that soundbite from Marcel, Stephen, that I thought was interesting was when he was labeling the wide receivers, he threw in Aaron Gregory as well. And I just think when you got as many good wide receivers that they have, Terry Bussey, ABR, Isaiah Horton, obviously Mario Craver, and you throw in AG, that says, I think, a lot about the freshman. I don't know if you've seen anything on AG, you've watched him at spring practice, but the fact that the starting quarterback is already talking about a freshman wide receiver, I think, speaks volumes for what he's done so far.
Yeah, I remember I went to spring practice scrimmage right before the spring game, and he was a guy that really popped out and made some big plays, went up and made some contested catches, long, tall receiver. And so, that's a position, I would say, out of all positions offensively, that's probably the easiest one to play as a young person. And I think we've talked about the challenge of young offensive linemen because you have this huge intellectual leap, but then also the physical leap. Quarterback, hands down, the hardest position to play in sports, but certainly for a freshman, that's a huge jump. And then tight end is the complexities of knowing all the run blocking schemes and passing blocking schemes, and then having to know the full route tree. So you've got to be smart. It takes a jump. But receiver, I think it's the biggest jump is the athletic ability. And so some of these guys that are, big time playmakers with a lot of ability come in, they could have an impact early.
Seems to me, Stephen, that the one of the biggest differences for young receivers when they come into the SEC is just getting off press coverage.
Yeah, that's so true, OB. I mean, it's a fantastic point. I think that's one of the challenges for even veteran guys in college. You see it at the highest level. A good DB gets hands on a receiver and they play high and they get them on their chest and they can't get off the line of scrimmage. And it completely throws off the timing and it allows your pass rush to get home. Most often, you're playing press man coverage. It's generally single high. So that means that they could be rushing 5 or 6 guys and it speeds up the clock for a quarterback. And if they're not getting off the line clean, it slows up the route concept. And all of a sudden you have chaos. So that's an important part of growth for a receiver for sure.
Stephen, in a few days, OB and myself and the rest of the TexAgs team will be leaving for Tampa, SEC Media Days. By the way, our good friends at Paragon Financial Advisors are sponsoring our trip to SEC Media Days, so shout out to them.
They are our good friends.
They are freaking amazing.
I like some of them more than others, but...
Actually, all I know is I went to lunch with them. They were all cool. Like, I thought Stephen was the main guy. Like, they're all great.
Yeah, I've never met any of them but Steve.
Well, we'll bring you to the next lunch. We'll go get some
That'll
sushi.
be the day.
But...
OB, hey man, like we are actively working on a fall challenge for you. You know, we know you got left behind on the cake challenge. There's got to be something out there. Maybe the TexAgs listeners can help us. You know, Nuno ate the cake. What is it going to be for OB? We're open to suggestions.
Do you have a suggestion?
No,
because we know you're not going to do the face tattoo. That died.
The Mike Tyson box did not get checked, but there's something there for you.
I think the wife put a quick end to that one.
As she should. Yeah. Stephen, just as we think about that, any storyline in particular that you are interested in next week beyond A&M stuff at SEC Media Days?
I think it's always interesting in college football at large. What are you going to do with the transfer portal, NIL payments? How do you work together? Are there going to be future salary caps? You put them on payroll internally. But I think, is there going to be a mega conference, TV rights? All that stuff's fascinating to me. And, the rest of it's a lot of fluff, but I think you get a good indication of some of the new faces that are having an impact because those players will be honest about that.
Stephen, great stuff, man. Thank you very much. TBD next week because we'll be in Tampa, but we'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right, guys. Take care. See ya.
The great one, Stephen McGee here on TexAgs Live. And thank you to Paragon Financial for taking care of us and sending us to Tampa.
Yeah, they've become my favorite now. My favorite financial advice. I'm not a customer, but I don't think they want me.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything. Stick around because your buddy Dennis Dodd joining us next on TexAgs Live.
I like Dennis.
We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour Extended. OB sticking around. Dennis Dodd, who's a good friend of the program, joining us here on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Was with CBS forever. And Dennis, if I'm right, you're doing a sports show now on the weekends?
Yeah, I got a little show in Nashville, appearing on it just to keep my toes wet, and forces me to keep track of the game, which I love. So yeah, just a little bit.
Are you living in Nashville now?
No, I live in Kansas City.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, but just doing it out of Nashville. So
through the magic of electronics, we can appear in other cities.
You just can't get college football out of your blood?
I can't. I did some preseason magazines. The wife has read the Riot Act, so not too much, just a little.
Well, Dennis, we'll start off with our team, then we'll kind of work our way around. Your thoughts on A&M here entering Elko's third year as the head coach. Playoff berth didn't go as planned in the playoffs, but the trajectory seems to be going in the right direction.
The trajectory is going in the right directions. I think all the arrows are pointing up, but there's some huge buts this season the concern for regression. Let's put it that way. The fact that you lose both coordinators, for better or worse, you lose 7 starters on offense. I think one of the biggest stories in the SEC this year, and it's obvious, but specifically for Texas A&M, is the 9th conference game. Everybody's going to have to live with it, but it assures that half the league has another loss. And when you're chasing a playoff spot, or you're chasing a bowl, or you're chasing a winning record, that's huge. And I'm looking at that, the end of the schedule, starting October 24th, last 5 games, at Alabama, at South Carolina, Tennessee at home, OU, and Texas. That's going to be tough. Now, that being said, if you got a quarterback, you got a chance. Marcel Reed is a Heisman contender. He was last year. He should be bigger and better this year. I'd like to see him a little bit more accurate. And A&M as a whole has to get that bad taste out of its mouth from the playoff game with Miami.
Yes, as you talked about with the 9th game, it's going to be so much more difficult. So how realistic in your mind is it that a 9-3 team can get into the playoff?
Oh, I think it's very realistic. I did a story from Destin a couple of years ago when it was coming to, I think, going from 4 to 12. And I just threw it out there to the coaches, like, are we looking at 9-3 getting into the playoff, especially from this league, given the schedule you played? And that was like throwing red meat to a lion. Oh yeah, we're gonna have 9-3. Yeah. Now I think it's more than ever because of the schedule strength of the SEC. The downside of this is the coaches, the ADs, and the presidents who had to vote on this were sold the fact that part of the reason they did expand to 9 games was that the playoff bracket was going to expand. Now, we can talk about 16 and 24 as long as we want, but that's a real sticking point with the SEC and Big Ten. I think it could be 2 or 3 years before this thing even expands. And what impact does that have on the SEC when teams are being left out? As I said, having to play that extra conference game that half the teams are going to lose. Every other year, you're playing 5 road games and 4 home games in the conference. But to your question, I don't think it's 9-3. If you win the best 9, we're having that conversation. I still think Texas deserved a shot last year, for the things they accomplished on the field. So, no, it's going to happen. And it's probably going to happen pretty soon because the field, to my mind, because of what I just said, is not going to expand anytime soon.
So is there any way they go backwards, Dennis? Like, all right, we're not getting our teams in the playoffs that we expected to get in when we expanded the 9. We haven't expanded the playoffs to 16 or 20 or 24. Do they say, is it too late to tell ESPN and everybody else, we're going back to 8?
Yeah, I think that's trying to unthread the needle. I don't think you can do that. Remember how many years they talked about this? How many years in the offseason at Destin did Greg Sankey get up there and talk about adding the 9th game and the hurdles and the advantages? I got sick of writing about it. I got sick of asking about it. So I don't think they're going to go backward. The money is the money. They're not going to, that's the biggest reason. They got more money for adding the 9th game. Everybody in the league eventually supported it because of the access. So it's going to be what it's going to be. I just think there's going to be that uncomfortable period until, and I do believe the bracket's going to expand at some point, obviously. But until it does, there may be some uncomfortable points here.
Dennis, do you have an opinion on what team in the SEC may take the biggest jump forward this year and what team maybe have the biggest drop?
Wow. The biggest jump, if you look at teams like last year, I think like Vanderbilt takes a step back for obvious reasons. They lose their quarterback. Maybe Missouri takes a step back. Their schedule is really, really tough, and I'm not sold on Austin Simmons. It's taken a step back. I mean, Georgia's really, really good. They have Gunnar Stockton. They have a quarterback who's capable. And you know what? That's okay when you're Georgia. The receivers are better. The defense is great. But they're the two-time defending champs in this league. And there was a perception, I think, in Georgia as well, that they've underachieved because they haven't made a run in the playoffs. And that's one of the downsides of the playoffs when you're a superpower. If you don't win it all, it's kind of a failure. We're kind of seeing it in the World Cup. Some of these powers that aren't, playing for it, the season's a failure. The World Cup's a failure. So I don't want to say Georgia takes a step back, but when the standard is a third straight SEC title, will they make the playoff? They got a great shot. But unless they make a run, then that's a step back. So, a team like Georgia, is that a step forward? Not Texas, maybe a Tennessee. Nobody's talking about Tennessee. They've got to find a quarterback or get a capable quarterback. A team that can make a run. They always have players. To me, for years, they were the Auburn of until they broke through against Alabama a couple of years ago. They were the Auburn junior of the SEC, where you wrote about them and talked about them, and they didn't do squat. Now Tennessee's on the verge. They've recruited well. They might be a team that moves up.
Dennis, I want to go back to the comment you made about A&M, and just looking at the SEC overall, because I feel like in today's era, there's a lot of buts, like LSU, but they got a quarterback who's coming off an injury, and they got a new scheme. Alabama, they got to figure out their quarterback situation, and it's going to be a first-year starter. Kind of go through some other buts if you can.
Yeah, no, you mentioned Alabama. It's hard. Look, they've underachieved. They've gone 20-8 in Kalen DeBoer's first two seasons. Why he got extended, I have no idea. It was a Jimmy Sexton special. There were some rumors that Penn State and Michigan State were coming after him. He never interviewed with them. He was happy. He gets 7 years and a bigger buyout. Okay, that's fine. I guess that shows a message to the recruits. But they've got to find a quarterback. They go into camp with a quarterback battles. I don't know if they're a team that overachieves. If they slide back, he's going to be fired. So they've got to take that next step into the playoff and be successful into a playoff. There's a but about the whole league because, to my sense, because the reason why the SEC's in this situation it's in right now, and I wrote about it in Athlon, it's like whatever happened to the SEC, tongue in cheek, but the Big Ten has passed them. For the time being, everything's cyclical, but I think we have to, there's no arguing, 3 outright national championships in a row for the Big Ten in a playoff format for the first time since 1942. They make the most money. They make the most money by far, and they've somehow found a way to weaponize it on the field. Indiana's certainly done it. Others have. Michigan winning a national championship. Ohio State's always good. So the SEC's got to get back. They can't have too many 9-3 teams. They have to have 1, 2, or 3 superpowers like they usually have in those years when they won 13 out of 17 national championships. And I don't see that this year, unless a team like Texas, because as I said, I think Georgia's probably going to be in it, unless a team like Texas fulfills its destiny. And Texas, look, everything's the same for Texas this year. And Arch Manning, I look at it, nothing's changed. Okay, he's supposed to win the Heisman, same as last year. Supposed to win the SEC, same as last year. Supposed to win the national championship, same as last year. Go to the playoff, win it all, same as last year. So what's changed with Arch Manning? I thought not the team. I thought he was overall an above-average quarterback. He was really good at the end. I don't know where Texas sits. They look like they're loaded. I mean, anecdotally, they're telling us that they're spending $50 million on the roster. Those are some expectations, guys. So they need 2 or 3 teams to step up and not have a bunch of 10-2, 9-3 teams that go to the playoff and flame out.
Dennis, when, if ever, does all these people in college football come to an agreement about what they want? You know, like this Senate, yeah.
Protect College Sports Act.
Yeah. We could go for the next 2 hours on that. I just think it's ironic. All the commissioners, all the powers that be, have gone to Capitol Hill for 7 straight years, begging Congress to intervene. Keep all these different state laws from being able to do our duty, being able to do our work. Give us an antitrust exemption. And then when the bill that's advanced the furthest finally comes through, is basically aimed right at the SEC and Big Ten. That's the reason they haven't agreed to it and may not agree to support it. I mean, how do you not see that coming? What are you paying these lobbyists for? Part of it is an agenda. I think Cody Campbell, a billionaire, is part of this commission who formed this bill, this Protect College Sports Act. It was him. Don't forget, the de facto owner of Texas Tech, not Michigan or Texas or A&M. Texas Tech is guiding the discussion. And the president of the New York Yankees, Randy Levine, whose stated purpose in life as a Major League Baseball owner is to cap salaries. I mean, we know that from baseball. And what does that say to the athlete? The athlete hasn't been at the table for any of these negotiations. And so part of me said, you guys, the conferences deserve whatever you get because, you didn't see this coming. And by the way, I don't think it's going to pass, which means more chaos. But I'm all for the players getting paid. I'm fine. Anything that advances, and this is just personal, anything that advances, the cause for them to collectively bargain and or get a union is fine. For the last 5 years, we have witnessed what it will look like. It's not the end of the world. Ever since NIL started July 1st, 2021, we know what it looks to get paid. We know what it looks like to get paid unlimited amounts of money. Not that that's going to be the future. And the game's never been more popular. Record ratings, record attendance, great games. So what's wrong? I think the people that are running it are wrong. The leadership is wrong.
So Dennis, let's look in 2030, let's say. What does college football look like, in your opinion, 2030? Do they have some kind of collective bargaining? Do we have a super conference? What is it going to look like?
Yeah, I was at a point when people would ask me that, I said, yeah, it was going to be a super league, 30 or 40 teams. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's too valuable to conferences like the Big Ten and the SEC to stay the way they are. What they're really concerned about right now is the way that the Protect College Sports Act is worded, that it would keep them from expanding. And that's a big reason they don't want to support it. Not that they're looking at teams, but they want to have that option if it ever comes about. So, okay, what does it look like in 2030? We are right at the end of the TV deals for every major conference except the ACC, which expires in 2036, I think, and the SEC expires in 2033. So they'll be talking about what those contracts look like. The biggest consideration, I guess, right now for that sort of talk is the NFL is going to go to market before that, and the NFL is going to suck all the oxygen and all the money out of the room. I saw, what did I see? And I'm no expert on NFL TV negotiations, but 9 figures, 10 figures, 12 figures. That's what it would be. Hundreds of billions of dollars to get the NFL contract for various holders. So I think it's going to look much the way it does now. I think there may be a situation where the SEC and or the Big Ten decide to go with self-governance and say, you know what, we're going to pay the players. We are going to have our own enforcement staff. If you think about that, that doesn't preclude them from playing anybody. It stays the same. But they don't want to be under this, under the restrictions of the Protect College Sports Act. So I thought at one time we might have a super league. I think these leagues are too valuable at the top the way they are to do that. It's going to be very careful. I think the only teams that bring value to any of these top 2 leagues are Clemson, Miami, who's Florida State, maybe, and that's a big maybe, and Notre Dame. And that's about it. There's no additive schools to the SEC or Big Ten that make them better. So I think it looks a lot like it is now.
Did you ever see Notre Dame in a conference?
Ever? Yeah.
What's it going to take?
Ever. But yeah, I mean, not the way it's structured right now. They get to keep every single dollar they bring in. They don't have to share it with anybody. They're a brand amongst themselves. And now, Orlin, I think everybody realizes this. One of the biggest stories of the offseason, at least to me, was they get a guaranteed spot if they're in the top 12. I mean, I made some calls yesterday because I still didn't understand what had they done, what leverage did they have to get that designation. And I was told that part of it had to do with the fact when the playoffs started, they can never get a bye in the first round. The highest they can finish is 5th. Even if they're number 1, they won't get a bye in the first round and go right to the second round. Okay. So in return for that, they've asked for this. The other part of this is what almost happened in the ACC last year. If Duke would have won that championship game, they would have been a bid stealer potentially and knocked Notre Dame out. Now Notre Dame got knocked out anyway. Miami was chosen. But my point is a team ranked below them or not even ranked with a chance to get into the playoff. This was on the books for a while and Notre Dame got it. So I guess I'm okay with it. But in answer to your question, it's another reason why they wouldn't join a conference. There's no real push for them to do it right now.
Dennis, great stuff, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time. I hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right. Nice to see you guys. Thanks.
Great seeing you. Dennis Dodd. Always a great conversation. OB, before I let you go, all right? Okay. We're already late for a break, but I do want to play that British soundbite to see if we want to respond at all. Who was it that said it? David Ubben, right? All right. I want to see how crazy it is. I have not watched it. I just saw tweets about it. So here's the British show breaking down what happened to England yesterday and how that matches maybe what the postgame wrap is like or our Monday show. Let's take a look.
You can almost accept it. I know. You're playing against Argentina. Yeah. You can't sit off for 25 minutes against Argentina. He absolutely bottled it. Thomas Tuchel's cost us the World Cup. He cost us the World Cup. We're 1-0 up. Played well first half. All right, cagey affair. We go 1-0 up. Be brave. Be brave, Thomas. This is what we brought you in for. We brought you in for this moment. We got rid of Southgate because he bottled it, because he weren't brave. We brought you in for now to make that decision. We're 1-0 up in a World Cup semi-final. Bring on Rashford. Bring on Saka. And if they score, they score. But at least we're going to go down fighting. At least we're going to go down with some pride. We fell out of the World Cup in disgrace because of him. Because of him. And we brought him in for this job. This is what we brought him in for, to get us over this line. And it's the same old England, same old crap, same old guff that I have to watch every tournament that we're in. And it's the manager's tucked us up again. Tucked us up. We're dead on our feet. Got Morgan Rogers playing right wing, Jude Bellingham on the left. Brings on Nico O'Reilly. We can't get out. Harry Kane's done nothing. He's dead. Nothing. Got nothing left. I can't believe it, Jace.
Well, no.
Jace, I can't believe it.
No,
it's a disgrace.
He
should be sacked. Get him out. Gone.
I don't think it was that bad.
I think
it was pretty tame.
All that tells me is that sports fans and reporters are all the same all over the country.
I expected...
The only difference is, like in a Jimbo Fisher year, when we were the forward, the only difference is we've never, no matter what the situation was, referred to it as a cagey affair.
That's true.
Which I kind of liked, actually. But sports fans are the same, regardless of where you are and regardless of the sport.
I was expecting a T-Bob and Matt Moscona meltdown after A&M destroyed him.
I didn't know Ricky Gervais was a...
I didn't think it was that bad. So, Ubit, I don't have a response. I think if you were to watch the post-game show after Appalachian State, that was
kind of tame.
That was kind of PG. Yeah, so you're right. TexAgs, we didn't lose anything yet. So I'd say rewind and put the post-game wrap after the Miami game, the go hour after the Miami game, the Texas game. Anywho, Obi, thank you, buddy.
Yep.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back. I want to kind of go back into the yeah, but segment that Dennis Dodd told us. But right now, great news, Ags. If you want a one-stop shop for nothing but A&M-related content, the Association of Former Students is proud to share the AggieSpirit.com. A website is designed for the Aggie Network where the 12th man can scroll anytime, anywhere. The AggieSpirit.com features nothing but Aggie-generated content from social news, Good Bull, and what's going on at A&M with education, research, campus life, to former students doing great things. You can like the content by giving it a giving or share the content on your own personal network via your social media channel of choice, giving it a whoop. On the AggieSpirit.com, you also have the opportunity to share your own Aggie content for the opportunity to be featured on the website. So for 147 years, the Aggie Network has existed and would not exist if it wasn't for the Aggie Spirit, and that's because of friends like you who help fuel the Aggie Spirit across generations through generosity and Good Bull. Visit theaggiespirit.com. That's theaggiespirit.com today to experience the latest Aggie content across social, news, video, and more. It's the Association of Former Students. Everybody, David Nuno here of TexAgs, here with part of the team from Frog Slayer. We've got Tim Scott, the head of product strategy and design, and Tori Maddox, the senior marketing manager. All right, Tim, who is Frog Slayer? What do you all do?
So Frog Slayer is a custom software and AI and automation shop. We've been helping folks in the Bryan and College Station area for years with their custom software. But more and more recently, we've been getting questions from businesses asking about how AI can help them.
And Tori, I bet there's a lot of businesses with questions about that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's why we're actually putting together this event series called Table Stakes. It's a peer-to-peer roundtable discussion that allows business owners to come together and have open and honest conversations about AI, automation, and how it's impacting their businesses.
Tim, what do these events look like?
So imagine you and 8 other owners gathered around a table talking about what ate your week, what didn't go well, what went great, trying to figure out how AI fits into it, maybe seeing some real examples of some tools, and then afterwards grabbing a few drinks.
I like the way that sounds. All right, Tori, how does someone sign up?
Yeah, you can sign up or request a seat by going to frogslayer.com/roundtables. There you'll see a list of upcoming events and you can request to join us.
Tim and Tori, thank you very much. Go check out Frog Slayer, guys. All right. Do you think we have any British listeners?
Very, very slim would be my guess.
People who have an English accent, do you listen? If you do, I got a question for you.
Call into the show.
You can call into the show. And if you call in with a fake British accent, I might even find a way to hook you up with a high five. That being said, 979-693-1150 is the Bumpy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. My question is, so I was talking to Kay about that video, the British guys breaking down the England loss. And this is not going to be a World Cup segment, although I know you have a question for me. Do British people listen to American accents the way we listen to British accents? Because I was talking to Kay and we both agreed that video wasn't ridiculous, right? The commentary was not like, that seemed like a pretty normal response after your coach loses a game, right? And listen to an SEC postgame show, right? Like, I think that's pretty normal. But she did make the comment that the accent makes it better, right? So I'm wondering, British folks, what's up? And I was rooting for you guys. Do you guys listen to American shows and think the same thing? Oh, it's the accent, or does our accent not stick out to them? Like, you hear a British accent, you're like, holy smokes, I don't know what he just said. You watch Peaky Blinders, which I know you don't, but I do. Sometimes I need subtitles.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have no idea what he just said. Like, and Thomas Shelby's like my role model. I'd like to be like him, except a better dad, a better husband. But I'd like to, handle my business grievances the way he does. I'm kidding. But do you guys, the British people, and I think we probably have 3 listeners that are British, and they're probably not listening at the moment. But when you go back to the podcast and listen, tweet at me, text me, whatever. Don't text me. Text Olin. He loves to give out his phone number. But I want to know if you guys listen to it. What do you guys think?
I feel like...
I don't ever hear them talking about our accents.
I feel like they don't talk about the American accent, because the American accent, it's...
But I don't know if you're the right source. I watch British television. No chance you do.
You're right, I don't.
Nick, big British television watcher?
Why? I want to know why you watch British television.
Oh, I'll tell you right now.
Oh,
this is easy.
I know where this is going. But
where's this going? Tell me.
Well, because their news is more centered, right?
No, it has nothing to do with their news.
Okay, all right.
You think I want centered news? No.
That's true.
You know what team I'm on.
Yeah.
Team Center. Anyway, no, the reason. The best written shows are British. That's just the facts.
Can you give us some examples?
Oh, I can give you several examples if you want. Peaky Blinders, Breaking Bad level of greatness. Okay? People who've watched that show will agree. If you haven't watched it, it's because you are anti-voiceite. You don't like their voice. Okay? Peaky Blinders. Luther with Idris Elba. Breaking Bad level of writing, maybe better.
Never seen it.
Should I keep going?
Please, give me like 2 more.
There was, what's the name of that show? I can't remember the name of all the shows that I watched, but they're so good. They're fantastic. Let's see. Oh, Sherlock Holmes. I thought I was going to hate Sherlock Holmes. The movies are terrible. With Robert Downey Jr., I've tried 12 minutes, out. But Benedict Cumberbatch, whatever his name is, fantastic. They made that show interesting for me. I was like, I'm all in.
The only British show I ever know is Doctor Who.
Doctor Who I have not tried. It just sounds, isn't it like a time traveler who talks to people?
Yeah, we used to just watch it back in high school. It was very simple. I don't know any other British shows, so you got me on the British media.
Okay, Downtown Abbey or whatever, I've never watched it. Everybody says it's amazing. Black Mirror, haven't watched it. Let's see. Killing Eve apparently is amazing. It's Searching for Answers. The Crown, I haven't watched that one either, but everybody says it's amazing. If you care about Queen Elizabeth, I don't care. The Industry, The Devil's Hour, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso is the only one.
Kind of an American show, right?
It is an American show.
All right. Doctor Who, Fleabag, don't know about that one. But they're the best. That's why, Nick. Okay? And sometimes I like to watch British commentary on soccer. And I promise the last thing. You wanted to ask me about the debate between CR7 and Messi, why it's such a passionate debate?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not a passionate debate anymore. Messi's winning by a landslide. It's not even close.
Know me and a lot of the audience, I don't keep up with soccer at all.
CR7 fanboys.
I only watch soccer for the World Cup.
CR7 fanboys, at the time where he was at his peak, there was an argument to be made. Okay? Over the history of the career, Messi is still playing at a Michael Jordan level late in his career, while CR7 is playing like Michael Jordan on the Wizards. Okay, so the debate's over, unfortunately. And I love CR7. But Messi's amazing to watch. I did want to talk about how did Dennis phrase it? The yeah, but. but I think we should maybe wait till after Aaron Torres to get into that, because I got some but ideas, because I think, I'll just do it now. Forget it. Sorry, Brian Broadcasting. Deal with the long segment. When it comes, and Louis, shout out to you. You're my guy. When it comes to buts, they're exactly right, because I have the same buts with A&M. We all should have the but I got to know about the offensive line. But I got to know if Marcel cuts down his turnovers. But there's a brand new defensive line. But Damian Sanford's health. I get, but that freaking schedule. You're right. Those buts. And I've always maintained a philosophy, when you have too many question marks, they're not all going to land on your way, so you can't go all in, right? If you don't have it, I didn't have a lot of question marks last year. I didn't. And they exceeded my expectations, but I didn't have a lot of question marks last year. This year I have more question marks. But to answer my own question, LSU, a ton of buts. We just automatically assume, because it's LSU and Lane Kiffin, that it's gonna be amazing. Maybe. Quarterback who had an injury last year, a rebuild offensive line, a defense that was better last year, but were they that good? Like, that's still the same defense that Marcel, I was about to call him LeBron, that Marcel demolished, right? And he's done it for 2 straight years. So there's a but there. Alabama, they win some big games, but they lose some stinkers under Kalen DeBoer.
That's my big but team is Alabama.
Brand new quarterback?
Kind of similar to A&M. You're losing a bunch of your offensive line. Like, Welcome Formby comes here. Caden Proctor goes to the NFL. The center, Parker Brailsford, I think's his name, goes to the NFL.
Oklahoma, but their schedule. Okay? But Mateer throws a lot of interceptions too. A lot. Oh, but his finger was hurt. Oh, he had a hurt hand. Well, he threw interceptions before that hurt hand.
I liked what Dennis Dodd was talking about when it comes to Tennessee. But they got to find a quarterback.
They do. And I'm not. So you can do that for any team. Now, because A&M is our beat, we heavily think about our potential deficiencies more than others, right? You think, oh my God, you got to go on the road and do this, and do that. I think Coach Elko has earned the benefit of the doubt of winning on the road. This ain't 2021 through 2023, right? Where winning on the road was not happening. One time, I think, in that stretch, right? It was the Missouri game after the Alabama win in 21. So you didn't win that until Elko was your head coach on the road. Okay? You went from 21 until the 24 season without winning on the road. Since then, all Elko does is pretty much win on the road. Okay? A lot. So anyway, I say all that. A lot of teams have buts. Ohio State, I got to hit a break here. I know, I'm sorry, guys. Ohio State, but have you seen their schedule? They're also replacing people. Texas. By the way, I am aware that Ohio State's not in the SEC. I was doing SEC teams, but I threw them in there, and I had another cup of coffee I shouldn't have. But Texas, but I agree with everything what people say. They got the most expensive roster in the history. They're the New York Yankees roster. Okay, cool. Got it. But Arch did show, as Dennis Dodd said, not David Nuno, was average a lot of the season. Above average, I think is how he phrased it. But Kentucky happened. But what was the other one? Kentucky and Mississippi State, excuse me. Now, you won those games, props. But so there are buts for everybody. I understand that our team has significantly more than other teams, but I think our head coach has earned not only the approval, but the optimism. He's earned that optimism. But if you disagree, you can text the show. Coming up next, Aaron Torres. He will probably disagree with everything I said. We're talking Heritage Films. Chance McClain runs that company. So recently I've been more focused on the farm and ranch side of his organization. If you own a farm or a ranch and you're listening, you should probably consider having Chance tell the story of your ranch. You just bought it, you inherited it, whatever the story may be, your Yellowstone story, let Chance and his team tell that in a documentary form for your entire family and for the future generations that are going to inherit that awesome land. But also, you got an awesome story. I was with my parents yesterday, and my dad, we did his story a few years back. He's going to be 96 in 2 weeks. July 31st, he'll be 96 years old. And we did his Heritage Films, and dude, I'm telling you, I said, dude, because you guys are family. When we watched that video together as a family with my kids and my wife and my brother's family and my mom, it was a really impactful moment, one that I know my kids are going to remember 30 years from now. But also, 30 years from now, when they share that video with their kids, that's what it's all about, is keeping the family story alive. The website is yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, or call them up, 893-8341. It's Heritage Films. It's interesting when I talk about things that people don't care about, they talk more to me than they ever do. Like when I'm talking football, they're like having their own little conversation on the chat. But the moment I go British television, soccer, or different strokes, they want to chat with me. Well, too bad. I want to talk to Aaron Torres. You can catch his work, obviously, on Fox Sports Radio and Aaron Torres online. And, there you go. And it's brought to you by Milliken Reserve, a college station community featuring homes, trails, farms, and wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Take part in the Milliken Reserve community with a Conservancy membership. Learn more at millikenreserve.com. With that, we go to the Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline, our buddy, AT. Aaron Torres, what up, buddy?
Hello?
Yeah, are you holding for David Nuno? Aaron Torres? Oh, KZN, can you push the right button? Thank you very much. Appreciate you. They'll figure it out. Anyway, as I was...
Hey, David Nuno, can you hear me?
Aaron Torres, hey!
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, disregard. I did send you a text about 10 minutes ago.
Oh.
I'm actually traveling, but this is actually a great time to catch me. So I was like, oh crap, I forgot to tell Nuno I'm not available today. But I am available today. Then you guys had technical difficulties, but guess what? I can hear you loud and clear. I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear because I'm ready to talk whatever David Nuno wants to talk about. I'll be honest, I don't know much about British morning shows or whatever you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. I think you were. Oh, because of the soccer game, were they crazy this morning?
Yeah, we played a soundbite from a British show that I didn't think was as crazy as people made it out to be. It seemed like an SEC postgame show where they were just yelling to fire Thomas Tuchel or Tuchel, whatever they call him, the England head coach.
Yeah, I shared one yesterday that was pretty funny. It was like from the game, but yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean it's not awesome if you're an England fan, but or I believe they call them English supporters. But by the way, I know we got to talk football. Great couple months of soccer. You're a bigger soccer guy in everyday life than I am, or as the kids say, IRL in real life. Really enjoyed this event. Sad to see it go. I know you watch a lot more soccer than I do, but it's been a really fun summer of soccer. So,
AT, we're going to have a programming meeting on the air right now. So in the future, when you text me, and I mean this kindly, by the way, and I know people think we pick at each other, during the show, text Nick as well, because I'm really bad about checking my phone during the show. So I apologize.
No. And I know, because last week we had technical difficulties as well, and you literally said I don't check my show. But yes, no, going forward, hey, listen, it's game time. So you don't got to worry. I think I don't think there's a Thursday between now and probably December or January that we won't be talking. So I will be available, but yeah, so apologize for texting during the show. But anyway, we got to talk football or something, man. You want to talk some football?
Yeah, let's talk some football. So we did a thing with Dennis Dodd earlier. It got me going in my own direction on, yeah, but. He made a comment about A&M, yeah, but, and he listed his reasons. I followed up with other teams that I have, and he agreed with me. So in your mind, when we're trying to evaluate this SEC football conference, and really you could do it for any conference, Aaron, I feel like most teams, if not all teams, I don't have a lot of yeah buts for Georgia, but I think they all have some yeah buts.
Oh, they all do. And shameless plug, I actually had Will Stein, the Kentucky coach, on my show today, and he talked about, he's like, honestly, man, one of the reasons that excited me about joining this league is, he said, I don't think there's a lot of gap between 1 and 16. And he referenced, Kentucky last year. Obviously, listen, he didn't say this part, but coach got fired because they went 5-7, but double overtime loss to Texas. They've beaten Florida 3 out of the last 4. And that's a program that people perceive as struggling. And so if Kentucky is there, it means that basically everybody is. And I was talking, one thing that he and I talked about is, listen, I know we all say this, and I think it's going to hit as reality this year. I think the sport of college football, the gap is just so small, especially in the SEC, between 1 and 16, between any team on any given Saturday. I really do think it's going to be much more like the NFL, where it's going to be about injuries. It's going to be about who do you play? When do you play them? It's going to be about, some years you can have a good team and the record doesn't reflect it. And so, we could go in any direction on any team, but like even somebody like, I'll give you a good example. Like I was thinking about this. like Oklahoma made the playoff last year. They made the playoff. Brent Venables, many believed was on the hot seat coming in. I think he established he knows what he's doing. They bring back John Mateer and a lot of other people. I don't really hear anybody talking about Oklahoma. People are talking about Georgia, Texas, Alabama with a new starting quarterback, LSU with a new head coach, Ole Miss with Trinidad Chambliss returning. So it just shows how deep this league can be, how thin the margins are, and to, I guess, the original thing that got me on this tangent, the fact that just about everybody has a yeah but about them, and everybody has a situation where if they don't show up on Saturday, they can get beat by whoever they're playing.
Talking to Aaron Torres here on TexAgs Live. Where are your yeah buts on A&M? I think they're obvious, but I'd just like to get your thoughts. Is it the offensive line? Is it Marcel? If you had maybe your biggest yeah but with A&M, what would that be?
Yeah, I think it's probably the O-line. I think, listen, you've talked about it, I know, probably every day since, at minimum, the NFL Combine, but certainly going into the season. But you have to replace so much production there that, that it's going to be a challenge. But I also know that Mike Elko is up for that challenge. And, the one thing that his teams have always brought dating back to Duke is a toughness and physicality to him. And you feel like it's almost an inherent thing with him. I think the other yeah but to me, and this isn't even necessarily an A&M thing, but it is clear there's a step up in schedule. I mentioned Oklahoma, A&M having to play at Oklahoma, at Bama, at LSU early, obviously Tennessee late. Just shows, again, one, there's no off nights and off weeks, especially with the 9th game in the conference schedule, Texas at home, obviously. Just shows there's just no that would be the yeah but to me is whatever. And you and I have had the discussion about the SEC, but I think we can all agree that A&M got a beneficial draw last year. You got Florida when they were kind of down. You got Arkansas after they had fired a head coach. This year, it's just a step up. But again, with the 9th game, I think it's a step up for everybody. But I think for A&M, you can say it definitively. So my yeah but is really like Mike Elko, really like the tone that he has set for the entire program. Yeah, but the schedule gets much, much tougher this year.
AT, I'm going to respond to that, and people are going to think I'm mad at you. I'm not.
Please.
I'm just going to respond. Okay. Here are a couple of my thoughts. I agree the schedule ended up being a little easier to navigate than we initially expected. A year ago today, you and I probably talked about it. Going to South. This argument before. Yeah, going to South Bend and going to Baton Rouge and yada yada yada. The other thing I'll say about that, and I'll make it quick. The Arkansas game I think is harder than most people thought because it was Bobby Petrino's first game as interim head coach at home, and I don't know, just. A&M has been in that position before when they went to Auburn a couple years back, and I forgot who was the interim head coach, and they beat A&M in a game, and it was a Cadillac Williams, I think. So, but I do agree with you that because of the 9th game, it is definitely a more difficult schedule, and especially the way the season ends.
Well, and I think if you want to make the counter argument is it stems from what Dennis Dodd and you talked about whenever it was an hour ago, which is everybody else has yeah buts too. And again, I hate to keep saying it, but these are a lot of the same conversations that I have with Ryan Fowler. And Alabama has a tough stretch in the middle of the season that includes A&M. And he said to me, what do we have to go win-loss record? I said, well, the good thing is, one, you don't have to win every game like the old days. But then two, for all of the concerns that you have about those teams in the middle of your schedule, this is Alabama, they've got their own concerns they got to worry about. And I think the same is applicable to A&M is, like you said, I think it's a great point. Oh, LSU early in the season, Baton Rouge, Lane Kiffin. Okay, well, A&M went into that building last year and ended somebody's career. How about that? So, I think LSU, Sam Levitt is there, yeah, but he didn't participate in spring. He was hurt for most of this past year. Alabama, they have 2 quarterbacks, but do they have a star? So that's where I think, again, I'll just go back to, I think my point is fair. I think your point about the schedule on paper looking tougher a year ago than it ended up being. And let's be realistic. Somebody's got to win all these games and somebody's got to lose them. And so maybe you get to the end of the year and you realize, hey, Alabama wasn't as good as we thought. We went into Bryant-Denny and won, and I'm just using them as an example. So I think you could make the same argument for a lot of these teams that you can for A&M about, they got just as many questions, just as many yeah buts as A&M does.
Yep. Aaron, I hope you enjoy your kind of time off. I apologize that we called you, but you're the best, buddy. I appreciate you making some time.
No, I didn't give you a heads up. I thought I had enjoyed Tampa. No sarcasm. I don't expect to hear from you. If you think there's a spot for me, let me know. But I will not be planning on speaking with you. If not, have fun, and we'll talk in 2 weeks, okay?
Oh, buddy, you're penciled in. There's no way I'm passing up this opportunity to have you on the show. Unless I get Sankey or somebody huge.
What are you going to pre-tape me at like 6 p.m. on a Thursday or something? No, I'm kidding. Just let me know. If you need me, I'm happy to join, all right?
Appreciate you, brother. Take care.
All right, bye.
Aaron Torres there on the Puppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, not under a freeway. When it comes to your real peace of mind, it comes to your money. When it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment management. And what really sets them apart is the over 9 CFPs, the CFA, and the CPA all on staff. They take their credentials seriously, and they work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel good about. Go to paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors.
What's up, everybody? I'm here to tell you about Fratella Italian Cafe. If anyone knows anything about Italian food, it's me, Billy Lucci. And Fratella has the best Italian food in BCS. Located at 3901 South Texas Avenue, Fratella is known for their handmade pasta dishes and feature lasagna, beef cannelloni, chicken parmesan, chicken fettuccine alfredo, a couple of my favorites, just a big old bowl of plain old spaghetti and some manicotti. Really recommend the manicotti. That's my go-to. And don't walk out of there without trying the fresh, piping hot breadsticks and the homemade in-house cheesecake, which is incredible. It's great for dining in, catering, gift cards, and even shipping, which they do nationwide. Fratella's is Aggie-owned and operated, and it's an official restaurant partner of Texas A&M Athletics. I'll see you there.
We got just a minute left. I do want to say this before we go to you, Carson, which I'll leave you no time. So people are responding with, when I talked about what England did yesterday with like their football thoughts of comebacks, they talked about the Super Bowl, they talked Atlanta Falcons, Patriots, talking about the Oilers in Buffalo. I'm not talking about amazing comebacks. And maybe you guys aren't either. I'm talking about when a coach basically, England was up 1-0. It's like being up 7-0 in football. Like, that's not the time to, like, not play offensive, right? And I'm thinking about a coach just the wrong strategy at the end of a game that cost them a game, not a blowout. On TexAgs today, though, what can people do?
Sign up for preseason kickoff. You can see your favorite coaches, A&M athletes, and TexAgs personalities.
If you haven't signed up yet, you're missing out, guys. Elko, Early, Bucky, Pablo, all of them will be there. All right, when we come back on TexAgs Live, Luke giving us a little basketball practice update, followed by the fan show. It's TexAgs Live. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio, hour number 3 of the show, and we're actually hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. Have you ever done the show from the Cool Zone, Luke Evangelist?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for answering. So yesterday, I caught the very tail end of a discussion between you and Callie, and I was too fake busy to participate. I was in a hurry to do nothing.
You're taking your fake phone call per usual.
Yeah, I do those daily. And I even call it out when I do it too.
I think it's a really funny bit that you have.
Yeah, but it's true. It's not a bit. It's a reality. I avoid conversations. If I'm on AirPods, it's real.
Right.
Right? So there's people at the gym that see me and I do this little thing like, I'm actually really on a phone call.
Yeah.
Or I'm faking. Anyway, I'm really on a phone call. So I caught the tail end of it. Then I saw your tweet.
Right.
And I don't know the entire story, but I'm going to tell you before I tell you my thoughts on your question. I'm 97% of the time going to agree with Callie on just about everything in life.
I know that's why the debate was such a problem, because Callie and I agree on pretty much everything too.
No, and I just rank her very high in the world.
Yes.
Okay, and I think you're good at certain things, but she is an elite at everything she does.
Yes.
Okay, and you're elite at basketball, terrible at jokes, but elite at basketball takes. Okay?
Thank you.
And coverage. Elite, like you are second to none. But I always want to go with Callie. So I want to hear what you guys said. I've read it, but I didn't absorb it. So tell me so our audience can participate, and then we'll get the basketball.
2 years ago, we're playing a fantasy football league with some TexAgs interns and part-timers. It's a 12-person league. Callie absolutely...
Pause. Never been invited. Continue.
Because he takes fake phone calls when we organize things like this.
From you. Go ahead.
And it was a 12-team league. Callie absolutely steamrolled it. I think she went like 14-2. Mm-hmm. She won the regular season. Yep. She was the number 1 seed.
Yep.
I was the 4 seed. I went like 7-9 that year. And then I beat her in the first round of the playoffs and went on to win the championship.
Okay.
So when we discuss fantasy football and, hey, remember when this and that, it's always I won the league because I won the playoff championship. And Callie will claim, actually, I won the league because she was the first place team in the regular season. So I just simply wanted to know, am I crazy for disagreeing with Callie here in that, in my mind, the only way you win fantasy football or win your league is from winning the playoff championship?
Reminds me, this is before your time, reminds me of Marty Schottenheimer at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
He would win the AFC like it was going out of style, and then they would fade in the playoffs.
Right.
Okay. I feel like that's Callie in this conversation. My team in soccer, I shouldn't talk soccer. People get mad. We've done enough. But to us, it's all about the Champions League.
Correct.
The league works. It's great. We want it. We do want it. But it's about the Champions League. Right? Barcelona likes to win the league. We like to win the Champions League. Okay. So I am actually going to side with you on this conversation. Not that I'm the resident voice, because I think when I hear fantasy sports on radio, I change the station, so we just lost everybody.
Right.
That's just me. But I think based on what you've told me, winning the league is great. Better than not. Winning the championship is the winner.
Exactly. And it pains me to disagree with Callie because we do agree on everything. But at the end of the day, I've never heard of anybody interject more with, hey, I won the league.
Well, she's not wrong. She won the league. You won the championship.
But what I mean is, I've probably played in 50, 60 fantasy football leagues, and I know the people listening probably have played too.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of anybody hold on to this for 2 years that they won the regular season? Literally nobody cares. And I just have to keep reminding her every single time. I can't keep arguing with her on this because it's like, if you were really the best team, you would have proved it when it actually mattered, when we were playing for money, when we were playing in the postseason.
When I got to ABC 13, I was maybe 34, 35, I don't know. But I still felt like the young guy because Dave Ward was like 80, Bob Allen was in his 70s.
That's how I feel with you.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And that was kind of my point. I still felt like the young guy. I remember the exact date. I remember the exact date that I realized that I'm the old guy.
Uh-huh.
And it was in Nashville. When I think I had texted the group that went with us for SEC Media Days, hey, what are we doing for dinner? I don't know. And then I just went and ate on my own. And on my way back, I see a crew of young people on their way. We crossed each other and we made eye contact. It was like, oh, he's there. And that's the moment I told OB, I've joined your team, the old guy team.
Uh-huh.
And this is another example, because I've never been invited to anything, ever. Nothing. And I don't invite them either. I do invite Callie and Kay and Kaylee. I do invite them. But, so yeah, thanks for making me the old guy. But the reason you're here is to talk Aggie basketball.
Of course.
And we spent 5 minutes too long on a topic that 9 people care about. You've been going to practice.
Yeah.
You I'm going to say this and I hope you take it kindly.
Oh boy.
You love A&M basketball.
I do.
Okay. And not only do you love A&M basketball, you will tell us great things about A&M basketball.
Yep.
But I also know you to tell the truth. When you see a guy that can score, you are not wrong. You told us about Aggie well before everybody else. So I'm saying this as a kindness. Like, it's not that you just want to inflate what they are.
Right.
You see something last summer, you told us they could play out a certain way, and it did play out that way.
Yeah.
From what you've seen, I've read a lot of your reports. If you're not a premium subscriber, you're missing out. Mbako looks like Mbako again?
Yeah. Yeah, he's getting there. Like, he's flashing those moments that I saw. And again, I think when I talk about Mbako last summer, the ones that were there, you know what you saw. And it's a shame that
we're robbed of that
6.5 games that you did see, right, he was playing on a broken foot. He wasn't himself. But I promise you, the Mackenzie Mbako that I saw last summer was one of the best players probably that would ever wear the maroon and white.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get that this year, I'm just telling y'all, you got to throw out the 6.5 games you saw him play last year. That's not him. And he's starting to get back to that form this summer. The last practice I went to, he just completely took over, hit every single three he took. This is a guy that is incredibly talented, was a McDonald's All-American for a reason, was the highest rated recruit in A&M history for a reason, and there's a reason why he came to A&M to get that draft stock back into the first round. And this truly is the system for him to thrive in, and I just cannot wait to watch him hopefully stay healthy this entire year and be that caliber of player that I saw when he was coming off a really great week at the NBA Draft Combine and then just lit up every single summer practice I went to last year.
So, and tell me if I'm phrasing this correctly. A year ago, he was supposed to be the alpha A-dog offensively.
Right.
Aggie ended up being a dude, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we knew he was going to be a dude, but we weren't sure of his eligibility at this point. But I feel like on this year's squad, he could still do that on many nights, but he doesn't have to. Am I right?
Correct, because they have PJ Haggerty, who is one of the best pure scorers in the country. He's the leading returning scorer in all of college basketball, and he's fit in really well to this system. He's a guy that wants to play fast, wants to get to the rim, wants to take free throws, and ultimately he's a lot better defender than I think people give him credit for. And so his style of play fits seamlessly into what Bucky and his staff want to do. And so PJ is going to fit right in. I've already seen projections of people saying he's going to be first or second team All-SEC. I think that's pretty accurate as far as the guard play goes in this conference. And he's a guy that's going to take a lot of pressure off of Mackenzie to where he doesn't have to feel like he has to do everything. There were moments last year where you would just watch games and it felt like Aggie had to do everything, or Marcus Hill had to create all of the offense. And that's not going to be the case this year because they have so many players that can facilitate and can get downhill. And all it takes is a guy like Mackenzie to be wide open in the corner and knock down shots. So it's going to take a lot of pressure off of him to have to drive, dribble, kick the ball out. Mackenzie offensively can sit in the corner and knock down threes, and then he can create off that wing. So they've got a lot of options offensively.
So can they score in different ways? Last year, they could hit the three ball for sure.
Yep.
And Aggie could muscle in and get some points in the paint. How do you see them scoring this year?
Yeah, last year, because of the portal situation, they were obviously pretty limited in who they can get, so they had to prioritize shooting. That's why they got Rylan Griffin and Ruben Dominguez and Zach Clements, guys that can just shoot 40% or better from three. This year, they're not as good of a three-point shooting team, but that's because they're going to get everything downhill into the rim. So they're going to create a lot better open three-point looks. Remember last year, like Ruben struggled to create for himself. Right, a lot of it was forced. This year, when you have a guy like PJ Haggerty driving, defenses are going to have to decide, are we going to send help to him and then leave a shooter like Lucas Walls, who shot 46% last year wide open, or are we going to let PJ Haggerty get to the rim for a potential and one situation? So they're going to put a lot more rim pressure on teams. Jamie Vinson and Josh Irving are great lob threats, Cade Phillips as well. So you're going to see a lot more scoring at the rim, which will then open things up for them to shoot threes. Last year, it was kind of live by the three, die by the three. This year, they're going to be a lot better at driving downhill and getting inside.
So even though they're not as good of a three-point shooting team, well, maybe. Everything's theoretical at this point. Could they maybe be a better three-point shooting team because of that? Like a guy that maybe with really good defense shot 32%, but if he's getting a little bit more open looks,
Right.
he's more of a 36, 38% shooter.
Yeah, that's what you're banking on here is this system creating even better looks than what they got last year. So I think they've got pieces. They've got a lot of players who shot 35% or better. They've got those high volume shooters like Bryson Warren, Tyshawn Archie that can shoot 40%. They've got more medium volume guys that shot over 40% in Zach Clements and Lucas Wall. So there are still great three-point shooters on this team, but I don't think you're going to see them have to take 39 threes and then make 14 of them to beat in Alabama or
So what
Kentucky.
would they? You think it'll be more closer, a little bit more? Because I mean, his
Closer to-
system 30.
Yeah, closer to 33s. It's going to look more how buckyball should look. Last year was swung all the way to the right in the pendulum of we know all we can really do is shoot it, and we're going to have to make at least 12 threes to beat these top 25 teams. And that meant they were going to have to shoot nearly 40 of them to get to that point. This year, it's going to take a lot off of them because they're going to get to the free throw line more, and they're going to score better in the paint.
Okay, and then how are they going to play offensively? I say play. How's the offense going to look with their back to the basket? I know that's a little bit more old school basketball, but
Yeah.
Agee was so good at that. Do they have the ability to do that?
Not to the level of Rashawn Agee, right? So you're seeing a team that they're not going to be able to replace his leadership, so they got to do it in the aggregate with guys like Cade Phillips and Lucas Walls. But in terms of that back to the basket, Cade Phillips can give you a little bit, Zach Clements can give you a little bit, Jamie Vincent can, Josh Irving, right? Like they've got pieces. It's just you're not going to see somebody be as dominant as Rashawn Agee was at his size. I know it's crazy to say that they've got players that are 5 inches taller than him that won't have the back to the basket game that he did. That's just simply a product of Rashawn Agee being a phenomenal athlete and just dump truck like bruiser at 6'7". They're not going to have a guy that physical.
He exceeded your expectations, though, right? Even though you were very high on him.
I mean, from the moment he got there, I knew that the entire team was going to revolve around his leadership and his play and his energy, but I didn't see him like being the all-time record holder for double-doubles in his season at A&M. Like I thought once we got to SEC play, it was going to be a challenge for him to hit those double-doubles. But the thing about Rashawn was what he had like 12 or 13 double-doubles. 10 of them came against Power 5 opponents. Like he wasn't stat padding by any means. It came in the biggest games when they needed him, like against SMU, when they needed him against LSU and Auburn. It was the biggest games, Georgia, that Rashawn Agee stepped up. And that to me was, I didn't know how he was going to take his game up a level from what I saw in the summer, but he took it up probably 3 levels. He's been incredible.
And he's having a good summer league, right?
Yeah. He just had 10, 7, and 2 last night for the Cavs. He looks like he's probably going to end up on their G League team, which is a great place to start, and he can work his way up from there.
Q started that way, and it worked out great for him.
Yeah, Andy started that way and got called up to a 10-day his first year. Like he's going to be another one of those guys that is going to grind away in the G League. And if he wants to go play internationally like his brothers, there's plenty of money waiting for him overseas. But I like what Rashawn is doing right now. It looks like he's going to be able to carve out a role in the G League.
And I don't remember who the outlet was, but somebody predicted A&M, what was it, 6th in the SEC? Maybe it was a little bit lower, and you disagreed with it. I forget what.
Oh, no, they had A&M 11th.
Okay.
Field of 68, yeah.
Field of 68. And they usually do a pretty good job, don't they?
Yeah, I would say like they're probably like the biggest outlet for college basketball.
11 would be maybe NCAA tournament team?
Yeah. 11th would get them in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, I think they're better. I mean, I have no problem being, obviously, you mentioned it earlier, like I love A&M basketball, so typically I'm going to be higher on them than most, but I think I've been pretty like spot on in my evaluation of people were picking them in the bottom 4 last year. I said, hey, there's trends that indicate, and from what I'm seeing, that I think they can finish in the top 6, which nobody had, and they did.
Well, let me pause. He is exactly right. He did say that.
Yes.
He also, if you catch him in the moment, you're very David Nuno-like. In the moment, you might think we may lose 16 straight games.
Correct. When they lost McKenzie, I was like, I don't think they're going to win 5 SEC
but then
games.
But
I
get
did,
back.
But I stayed the course, and you can go back, and there was evidence that I was literally the only person that was saying they could finish in the top 6, and sure enough, they did. So I have no problem if the national media is picking A&M 8 to 12 in that middle of the pack range, saying that I think they can once again finish in the top 6. They have significantly more talent than they did last year.
Significantly harder schedule too, though, right?
Yes, harder schedule, and the league got better. That's the caveat right there is they could very well end up with the same record as they did last year in league play, and yet I think they're going to be a better team with a better NCAA tournament seed, simply because I think they should do better in non-conference, they should start better, and therefore have a better overall record, but don't be surprised if they end up with 11 to 12 wins in SEC play, but we're still saying, hey, they're a better team, they have more talent, it's just, is it going to come together?
Right. And then last thing for you, is it fair to say to SEC teams, like sometimes at the end of last season, I felt like people caught up with A&M a little bit,
Right.
SEC-wise, okay? And is it fair to say that's, I mean, after your explanation, yes, the answer is yes, but they can't really scout what A&M is based on last year because it's going to be a different kind of buckyball this year.
Right. That's ultimately going to be the question is how much have teams caught on to his style? Because when you play it for the first time, you have no idea what to do. When you played for a second time, those mirror opponents started to figure it out. Now you give coaching staffs an entire offseason to say, hey, how do we want to package this information of what this team does into our scouting report to make our team be able to understand it in 2 days? So the longer Bucky's in the league, the better teams are going to pick up on it, and these coaching staffs that get paid millions of dollars will be able to pick up on it. But now when you inject more length, more athleticism, and just better players into the system, will that jump up from these opponents being able to catch on? Will you be able to outweigh it with your talent level jumping up that much more? So it's going to be interesting to see. Bucky and his staff are going to have to earn their keep now, right? This is coming into a year with higher expectations than they had last year. And so what are they going to be able to do with better talent, harder schedule, harder teams to play against? It's going to be fascinating to see how they adjust game to game throughout this season, but they've certainly got better players than Bucky and his staff have ever coached in their career.
Good work, Luke. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about Rollo Insurance. They do my insurance. They should do yours. If you're listening to the show, I would have guessed 80, 90% of our audience is in Texas. Well, they're all over Texas. They got 60 offices, at least in the great state of Texas, but they're all over the country as well. They are super local when it comes to taking care of you, though, right? When you call them up, you know that your agent's going to know you and your situation. So start a relationship with an expert who puts you first, and that could be your car insurance, your homeowner's insurance, your ranch insurance, your business insurance, whatever it may be. Let the good folks at Rollo Insurance take great care of you. When you need advice or have a claim, you'll speak directly with someone who knows your situation. What you need to do is visit rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That is rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. It is Rollo Insurance. I disagree. Browning says I haven't done this show on a Thursday in years.
No,
Okay.
Browning is saying that he hasn't seen you in 2 months, which is
I'm
gross.
I don't feel like I haven't. I miss him. He's my friend.
Yeah, we are friends, but friends text each other. Thanks for texting. It's the Fan Show, presented by me, and
presented by David Nuno.
Yeah, and
we
just
checked.
David Nuno's Jewelers.
We do. I ran into your dad at the gym.
Oh yeah.
He was telling me to tell you
Did
how
you
to do
apologize?
No, he was telling me how to help him get stronger. That's what your dad was telling me. Like, tell Browning or Matt what I'm doing. He was like doing curls or I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
was like, he only does 20s. I do 40s. That's exactly what he said.
He's a real hoot.
Dude, I finished my workout yesterday with 21. I just about killed myself.
Yeah. I'm sure people loved it. This show
People
has
care.
gone from Peaky Blinders to soccer to fitness talk.
Yeah, you missed the soccer talk.
We're not going to do that, okay?
Yeah.
We're not.
Man, we talked a lot of World Cup. I
We
was
really
shocked
did.
how much we did.
Richard Zane did the show. That's why. Right?
No, I brought it up. The non-soccer fan brought it up, but there's a lot of griping. I was complaining.
so
a
much
lot.
complaining.
There's a lot of
He's so
complaining.
whiny.
It's such it has such potential to be such a fun sport to watch, and they just ruin it.
You understand that the whole world is watching and is like killing numbers, but whatever.
Except for Browning.
Yeah. It's the Fan Show. Oh, yeah, we should sing it, right? What show is this called?
It's the Fan Show.
We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Carson Stein, ask the hardest question of the day, please.
I want to give it to Roy. Roy, what is on your mind today?
Outside of Browning, going down the back in my day stuff off air, what's on my mind is that David Ubben apparently still watches TexAgs. Despite us no longer being in the Big 12, him no longer reporting on the Big 12.
Never met that guy in my life.
I mean, neither have I, but when we were in the Big 12, he was Big 12
He was at
report.
Big 12 Telegram or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
One of those.
But it's fascinating to me. So my response would be thank you. Like, thank you for watching the show. And thank you for watching the Fan Show and TexAgs.
Yeah.
And you know what, David, if you get a chance, subscribe. Be a premium member, man.
Yeah. And sign up for PKO. It'd be a great event to go to.
Yes. So y'all played the clip, and I watched it before you guys played it because y'all were mentioning it. I'm like, what? I hadn't heard his name in forever, right? And so I pull it up, and it's the most mild-mannered stuff on the planet.
The only thing was like, fire him.
Yeah, it's
Great
just
British
it's complaining like, yeah, Roy, fire the guy, right? Yeah. So like, there's nothing different. You guys nailed this. Nothing different than like a post-game show after we blow a game or lose a game we shouldn't lose. But that was fantastic match, I might add. But yeah, so what's on my mind is that we're still on his mind. Yeah. Like, TexAgs has that power over people, apparently.
That's what we do.
Did you know that England only had 12% possession from their goal to the end?
That is that means coaching malpractice.
Argentina shoved them in a locker because Tuchel made really bad substitutions.
You don't know what we're talking about, do you?
Mm-mm. Yeah. I'm an American. I don't understand what y'all are saying. So,
you've ever parked the bus?
I'm a proud patriot. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
A proud patriot? What does that have to do with anything, you schmuck?
Roy really is a genuine patriot.
You love golf, but we didn't invent it.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Do you know why there's 18 holes in golf?
No.
Because when they came up with the game, a proper bottle of scotch had 18 perfectly poured shots.
And that's how this is.
It might be an old wives' tale, but that's what I was always
I'm going to
told.
believe it from moving forward until somebody fact checks us.
I wanted to believe that.
Mr. Browning, what's on your mind?
Good morning.
Good morning, buddy.
Well, just like always, or this time of year, the doldrums, right? We're in kind of but there's some cool stuff. There's some fun stuff. I mean, your last segment with Luke was really good.
Yeah, it was good.
All right. I mean, I will say Luke. I remember this exact same time last year. He said Rashawn Agee's going to be. You're going to love this guy. Yeah. He's like the fan base is going to love him. Everyone's going to love him. The guy's great. So. He has his finger on the pulse of of the basketball team, which is exciting.
His excitement makes me think about basketball before football season. Right?
Yeah, it's weird. Isn't it? Yeah,
it's a little weird.
Yeah, it's weird. So, but football is where we're turning. Our minds are turning to it.
SEC Media Days.
SEC Media Days.
I will see you next
up.
week again.
Yeah, all right. He won't be here next week either. But not only that, I'm a big YouTube guy. I watch a lot of YouTube, and just because I have it on the background. But I mean, seeing things from Pate and from the On3 guy,
Piquel.
JD Piquel.
Yeah, Piquel and all those. I mean,
Jake Crane, all those guys.
Oh yeah, they're higher on this team than I would have thought. They're higher on this team than I thought a lot of the national guys would have been. Right, just coming off of coming off of last year, even though which is crazy because we came off of an amazing season and didn't lose as much as you would think. You have an experienced quarterback coming back, and but these guys have been super positive. Not only positive for this upcoming season, but obviously the recruiting class. I mean, everybody's just talking. I mean, how we're killing it on the recruiting end. I mean, you can't deny that. That's just it's just been fantastic to watch and see. So all that's really kind of where we are sports wise is we're gearing up for the last little push until we finally get football back.
Yeah. When I think about the optimism from many, and then the questions from others, it has me thinking. Elka knows what he's doing, right? Like, not only does he know what he's doing, he's getting the right kind of players. What we don't know is if the other programs got the right kind of players and the right mix.
You know, that's a good point because that's something Piquel had talked about. I watched the thing from him yesterday. He's like, this is not the same as the 22 thing. See, he said A&M's always been able to bring in talent. He's like, but you just know. He literally said, you just know that this group, that this number one class that we've got coming in is going to be different than that 22 class, right? Not that there wasn't a ton of talent in that 22 class, but because of who's at the helm.
Yeah.
Right? They believe in this class and they trust that this class will be. So when people make the comments like A&M's done this before, what are they? And they didn't do anything with it last time, right? Well, yeah. I mean, we did have the greatest recruiting class in history, and it didn't really pan out. But again, who was at the helm?
Right. He's exactly right. I think I was more talking about this upcoming football season when you understood. And I like your point a lot.
You.
I do love your point, and I think that's worthy of a segment.
Thank you.
What I meant in my question was that for this roster in 2026, you knew immediately, right?
I got it. I just
wanted to do your own game. Browning does this thing where you ask him a question. There's a thing when you interview for a job called behavioral interviews, and you'll learn this at some point, Carson. And you already know your 4 answers no matter what question they ask you, right? You already know, like, what's the biggest mistake you've ever made in a business sense? And it's always a positive thing. They say, well, this one time I just cared too much, right? Browning did his behavioral interview on the show. I'm going to make my point about buying the groceries, regardless if he asked me about other teams in the SEC. Roy, which direction do you want to take it?
I'm going to try and get this thing back on track.
Okay, thank you.
And for me, and this is something I mentioned last week, I think this one of my favorite parts about media days isn't the coaches' interviews or the players' interviews. It's y'all talking to the other media, right? So you talking to the TexAgs counterparts for all the other schools. Because I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on at Bama. Why would I? Like, I don't sit around and read Bama football news. But y'all will have the opportunity to ask those questions of the other, basically, TexAgs counterparts for each of the schools. And that's where I think the best information from Media Day comes. Because, I mean, if you've been to a coach's night, you've been to one, you've been to all of them, right? And it's the same speech every single time, and I get that, right? And where I will say Elko's a little different, he is absolutely 100% genuine, no coach speak kind of crap, right?
Yeah.
So when it gets to the question time of the interview is when I enjoy it. But like the canned response that they all open with is just, that is what it is, right? It's the Browning.
Sure.
Right. But so that's where
Your face is like you're offended.
I'm offended.
He's not wrong.
But that's where I think we glean the most information from media days is y'all talking to the other schools because they know, right? You guys don't get paid to know what's going on at Mississippi State, but you get paid to interview the guys that know.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's where media days is really become so valuable because the media on media interviews has become so much more of a thing. And I know it makes for long days. For you guys,
it's exhausting, but it's awesome at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's both. It's like it's exhaustingly like productive, right? You're not just canned interviews with whoever you can find. It's you're talking to people with direct questions, wondering what's going on with their program, and that's what we want to know.
Yeah,
that's really what I want to know. I love to hear our players speak, but realistically, like I want to know what's going on with the people we're going to play, because of TexAgs, I know what's going on with us, right?
Yeah. So. Let's hit a break. Got a question for you guys. You ever been to Bubba's 33?
I have.
Okay. What do you get? Wings or a burger
guy? See, I've gotten wings. I've got the burger. I got the pizza.
You got it all. Okay. You?
I went one time, and I don't know if I'll return.
Okay, thanks. That's not what I wanted to hear. That being said,
I've been to Bubba's 33, and they also do a philanthropy, which is great every year.
Well, that's what I was going to read, right?
I've stood on the roof.
You stood on the roof?
I did.
How did you do that?
That's part of the philanthropy. You get up there and you try and raise money for the hour that you're on the roof.
Oh, okay, well, this is kind of in the same vein. Dine, give back, and make a difference. In July, every donation can make an impact. Join us for our Burgers for the Brave event. Help us support Homes for Our Troops, our national nonprofit partner. Whether you're dining in with us or ordering takeout by phone, you're helping us give back and make a difference for veterans across the country. Come enjoy great food, support an incredible cause, and be a part of something bigger all month long. Try the wings, try the burgers, try it all, the pizza as well. It is Bubba's 33.
Yeah, do it all.
Estamos aquí, TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. It is a show that has sponsors.
We love Rollo Insurance. Morgan's my guy. Best in the business.
Yeah, I love it. I love wings and burgers, and I love the Angry Elephant. Another place
I
to
love
get.
philanthropy for veterans.
I love that too.
Absolutely.
I love the Angry Elephant News and Social Center, not because Carson's there, but because I like the people at Angry Elephant. Anyway, Carson, you're pretty good at what you do too, sometimes.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I mean, sometimes.
I just had a question that I think you guys could take. Has this World Cup given you guys any thoughts on college football expansion being a good thing, since this is the first World Cup that they've expanded?
That is a really good question. All right. Browning, I'm just going to go ahead and go. I figured.
Please.
Yeah, okay.
He doesn't know.
So this is the first expanded field in the World Cup that we've seen. Well, obviously in a long time, right?
What does
Like
that
in
mean?
our lifetime.
Like, what do you mean? What did it used to be?
There's
now it's
more
now?
teams.
Okay.
It's expanded.
So just think of the same thing as like expanding the playoff bracket, right?
Mhm.
So that's basically what they did with the World Cup. I think, and this is where it's completely different. I think expanding the World Cup has done wonders for this game and for this tournament. I think the more football, the merrier, right? Because we talked about this last week. The beauty of the World Cup is that the superstars get to be superstars because these guys don't play together. You don't have like a pep that's installed a system over 10 years. They always play the same way. So like the superstars, they just kind of get to go play football, right? And so I think this tournament has been unbelievable, not just because of what it's done for America, but just from a PR standpoint, but literally like the product on the field. I think it's been so much better. Because international football is so much different than college football, right? When you talk about like, what was it, Cape Verde, making a deep run, they're the size of like Huntsville, right? Population-wise. But you don't see that in college football as much. But the powers that be are the powers that be in college football, right? And you have to have a large school with a large alumni base, and you have to already have the facilities, because we're kind of done with the facilities war, like arms race, right? We're kind of done with that now. It's really all about NIL, unless your facilities are so outdated that you absolutely have to update them. But then that still requires a wealthy and or large fan base, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the thought of expanding the college football playoff to 24, I think is the wrong decision. I think expanding the World Cup bracket was great. Now, I didn't like it at the time, but now that I see it, right now that I see the product, but for me, college football, when you get to 24, you've watered it down to where, coaches are going to get fired for not making the playoffs because their logo is important, right?
Well, but let's pause there for a second, because I think old man thinking, and I do a lot of old man thinking, is like, hey, you're watering down the regular season. But in a way, aren't you enhancing the regular season? Because there are, now, if you get to the end of the season and you're benching your best players because you're guaranteed a spot, that's not what I'm talking about, right? But when you lose a game or two, your season's over. Look at what happened to LSU last year. Right. When they lost those two games to Vanderbilt and A&M, yeah, they fired their coach. They felt like they were out of it. And that was a 12-team playoff. I feel like expanded playoffs, it can make the regular season matter more for the rest of the teams. And also it can the bowl system doesn't work anymore, right? So if the bowl, it gives you something to look forward to beyond, all right, we're just going to go 5-7 or 6-6 or 7-5. Like, it gives you something to, and those teams won't make the playoffs, but. So I think there's an argument for both sides.
I think my complaint, honestly, isn't that, we're talking about expansion of the college football playoff. I think it's the expansion to 24. I think the sweet number is 16 with the first two rounds on campus. I think 16 is completely.
With no buys.
No buys.
My
Nobody
biggest
gets a
issue
bye.
is buy. I think the buys are dumb.
Now, from there, if you're talking about outside that system with the bowl system, all that stuff, it's that's changed a whole lot. With the playoff system, and now if you don't make the playoffs, like literally, who cares? Who cares? Unless you're in like a bowl pick'em.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl is not a prize.
Yeah, unless you bought into a pick'em contest with a bunch of your buddies. That's the only reason you care, right? It's like watching a sport you don't care about, and the only reason to get interested is because you gambled on it, kind of thing. Yeah. I think that's my biggest problem. Is it's all the way to 24 thing.
I do agree with you 100%. I've actually thought about that. I was like, look, in the past, you lose game one, you lose two games early in the season. If you go back to the A&M 2012 team, right? I mean, that team would have. No one was hotter at the end of the season. They go into a playoff system, but they're already out. They lost two games. I mean, you lost your first game of the season ever with the first time quarterback. playing your first ever SEC game, and then of course you go to Baton Rouge and lose. Or no, we actually lost at home, I think, against LSU. I can't remember, but either way, you lose those 2 games, and now your season's over. I mean, it was still a great season. We got to go to the Cotton Bowl, but had it been a 12 team or 16, I like the 16 team, right? I think you go to 16 first, obviously. No buys. I still go back to last year and go, I mean, look at those first round games. What a loss! What a waste that could have been. When you could have had. I remember thinking you could have had Oregon playing Texas, right, as opposed to Oregon playing James Madison or whoever it was, right? I mean, it was such a missed opportunity to have some really, really fun games for us to watch. I mean, seeing those 2 teams match up would have been really, really fun. I mean, two contrasting styles and different conferences and all that. Instead, you give two teams cupcakes, and the other 2 had tough starting matchups, right? Well, just depending on seeding.
So while you were talking, I've been doing some. I've allowed Google to do math for me. So I just want to kind of go through this for a moment, just to show where we are. Right now in college football, with the 12-team playoff, only, let's see if I have this number right here, looks like only 8% of college football make the postseason, okay? And that's of 138 teams. Now let's just narrow it down to just Power 4 teams in Notre Dame. 17.8%.
The fact that we have to say and Notre Dame.
Right, 17.8%. If you look at the NBA, which has continued to grow their playoff, everybody's growing their playoffs, right? Yeah. 66% make the postseason. The MLB, 40% make the postseason. According to this, the Division I NCAA basketball tournament is actually only 18% make it. I thought it was a bigger number than that,
like
but there's more teams. Right.
Just like baseball.
So in the NFL, I had the number somewhere. Let's see if I can have it. 43% of the teams make the league. 40%. So if you compare it to the rest of the sports world, it is still the elite getting invited to the postseason compared to the other options to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of I do like the idea of going to 16, starting there, and then seeing how that works, and if you can bump it to 24, you got to cap it at some point. I think 24 probably would be the final end all number at some point, but I can see the benefit of it. I can see, I mean, the more games, and if you are the number 1 seed and then you get to play James Madison, okay, that's your reward. All right, you get to play one of the group of 5 teams, which is essentially a bye in that scenario.
Can I pause you for a second on that thought? Just for a moment, and I know you were going on a great place, but I wanted to get back to A&M. How different would we have looked at this season? Seriously, had they played James Madison in the first round of the playoffs, won that game, and then lost to Miami the exact same way?
Yeah, I mean, having a single playoff win under your belt would be huge.
And then I want you to go back and say, was it fair that A&M didn't get James Madison?
Yeah, I mean, See, that was the idiocy of the 12.
This is what we're all missing. This is like the overarching thing we're all missing. All of those playoffs you just mentioned, they played their way in. There was no selection committee, no seeding. They played their way into their seed. So that's where everything, this whole conversation is different about college football, is because it gets set up.
You would prefer, all right, it is the top 4 teams record-wise from the SEC, 1 at large that we vote on, 1, the 4 from the Big Ten, the 3 from the AC, whatever they would do. You would prefer that to, let's have a bunch of guys that have their own agendas voting for who should go.
The problem is you have to come up with a specific metric. Since everybody doesn't play everybody, right? That's why it is different, obviously, right? We can't specifically.
Well, the NFL doesn't play everybody.
Because you can be undefeated, but you're undefeated in the Sun Belt. So it's not the same as being 10-2 in the SEC. We understand that. This is where the metrics math has to take over. Math has to math, right? All right, math numbers don't lie. They never have. So strength of record, right? Plus record, times this divided by this multiplier. There's got to be an equation that specifically seeds these. Not, I don't think Texas should get in this year.
They lost to Florida.
Yeah, what is that, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's 1, it's getting to 16 and removing the buys, and 2, it's coming up with a literally fail-proof. And I understand the polls are still going to be the polls, but the polls don't have to be people-driven at all. Yeah. They don't. Like, there's a very simple way to weigh an SEC schedule. And this year, like, the SEC may not always be, because by the end of the season, it's the body of work.
Right.
I'm not looking at my strength of schedule in July and going, man, if they can go 9-3 in that, they're this. It's just like we said last year. You guys, we all did. We looked at the schedule and go, man, it's going to be really tough. And some of the stuff we thought was going to be tough just wasn't.
Yeah, and I think I like your idea where you get guaranteed teams in, because I hate to say this, I actually agree with Sark when he was talking about Tech's schedule, and so but we all can sit there and go, okay, obviously Texas and Notre Dame, who were the first two out of the playoff last year, would have been better than the two. Those two teams would have beaten those two Group of 5 teams all day, every day.
Got to hit a break here. Moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. When you're trying to buy a vehicle and you want good old boys and you want people who are going to take care of you during the process and after, you go to Caldwell Country Chevrolet. You can browse their inventory online, but when you go out there, you're going to see a great selection, great people, and then the customer service that I alluded to earlier is second to none. They have complimentary oil change for life as long as you own that vehicle from Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive. The end of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot. New business with the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's right now. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggie Land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way.
I don't know what you were like, what college Nuno was like. Like, were you a super fitness guy or were you just like a college guy?
I was a college guy that thought he was fit but wasn't.
But remember, we were in our late teens, early 20s. Like, you're just a walking dumpster. You are as a kid, right? As a boy. Like, did you used to just absolutely smash Double Daves?
No, I didn't have a lot. What I would eat a lot of was back in college. I ate a lot of Freebirds. I would smash like double
like
burrito.
a super monster, one sitting, no problem.
Just double fisting, just a burrito in each hand.
I love Double Daves. It was funny that I have my cousin and her husband came from Dallas. Yeah, I do. I love Double Daves. Okay, Double Daves is amazing. I go back there all the time.
Those world famous pepperoni rolls are off the chain.
So they come. Their son's going to go to A&M. He had freshman week or whatever orientation, and they came, and so we bought a bunch of pepperoni rolls. They're like, oh my gosh, these are amazing. Never had these before. I'm like, you never had pepperoni rolls? Like, apparently no one else makes these.
They are okay. So we at our intern luncheon every year or every semester, we always get.
That's the easiest thing because all eat them.
And bro, like I walk by, I take one. And then I walk by, I take another one. It's like I'm like, who am I?
They're addictive.
Just carbon up.
They're addictive.
They're carbonated.
They're fantastic.
All right, Carson, ask us a question that we can answer in 2 minutes.
What side of the line of scrimmage do you guys think will have the biggest or the best season? Because the offensive line is completely revamped and the defensive line is more revamped as well.
I'm gonna take the easy answer here. I'm gonna say defense, because
Elko, everybody, yeah.
We know what we're gonna get. We know what we're gonna get. I genuinely hope that the offense. I don't want to say I hope the offense is better than the defense. I hope that they're both equally yoked, but we just know we always know what we're gonna get from Elko.
Yoked, rad, groovy. What are you going on? What's going on with you today?
Hey man.
You know what? I'm going to say this because I am the maroon-blooded kind of guy, right? I'm a Maroon Kool-Aid kind of guy.
Maroon Goon?
I'm going with the Maroon Goons. I think that because I trust this coaching staff in general. I do. And because we're all focused on the transfers and having to rebuild the offensive line, and I get it, like the Elijah Robinson, Elko on defense, that's the easy answer. So I'm going to take, because I expect us to be incredibly good this year, it has to be the offensive line. Like, my answer has to be offensive line.
Yeah.
It has to be. So
good stuff. Tomorrow on the program, I think Billy Lucci's on the show. I said I think. I haven't talked to him in 2
He'll be on the show or on the phone, one way or the other.
I think. I don't know. It's the summer.
50-50.
And then I know Olin will be here, but I know he's taking vacation soon. And then we'll figure out the 9 o'clock hour. We'll tap dance. We'll bring some guests. I don't know. I'll work on that.
Hey, you need us back? We'll come back.
No. I want to keep my sponsors intact.
Did Olin keep the receipt for that haircut?
I thought it looked great. No, I loved it. Hey, everybody. We'll do the rewind. You won't watch that. But if you do, it'll be on YouTube. See you next time.